Pasok.
The world is confronted with adversities. Our worries become unprecedented as COVID-19 shadows our way of life and subject our lives in the directives of government for greater survival while awaiting the coveted vaccine that will attempt to bring normalcy in our lives. But for the meantime, we stay put and be the living audience of current realities that create an impact in our existence. Just today, another sad news came out that the main hero of the famous Marvel themed movie Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, died of colon cancer, a disease that he had carried for the last 4 years. His movie ranked number 3 as a superhero title of all time at the world box office, behind Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. Life has a beginning and life has an end. Even superheroes die. Another quick life realization that life is indeed too short, that it must be lived to the fullest. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, good evening. Marhay na banggi, maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. AYLA Young Leaders Alliance, Bicol United, and runcationPH are here again to provide a digital platform to empower and enable everyone de la Cruz. Tonight, dear viewers, we focus on the second to the last series of our L.E.A.D.S campaign, focusing on advocacy. In this online discussion, we unfold how organizations started, how did COVID-19 affect the organization, what are the offline and online activities, and most importantly, what can we do to support their cause? So to all, sit back, relax, listen, and interact through our comments in our Runcation PH page. Let's start the ball rolling. Again, we also like to remind everyone that certificates will be given right after this discussion, but please ensure that you actually post-register. Okay, so we want to have an early shout out to our viewers coming from, we have Caloocan, Quezon City, we have Isabela, we have folks from Bicol, and we have from Tarlac, and people are still coming in. But again, to start this discussion rolling, we would like to call on a good friend of mine from Mindanao. She's actually the founder of Support Local Tagum and the co-founder of Support Local Pinas. May call on a fellow AY, Ms. Luisa May Pinzon from Tagum to actually discuss about Support Local Pinas. Lisa, magandang gabi.
Hi, Sir Ben. Good evening po, and good evening to Runcation PH.
So you could start your discussion and you may now take the floor.
Okay. Thank you very much. When I received the message from Sir Ben, no, it was a no-brainer decision to say yes. Well, partly because Sir Ben is also former student leader back then, and when he was still here in Mindanao, together with us, we had like lots of conversations together with other student leaders here about what we can do for the country. And I think no, kahit nag-graduate na ako, and I think a lot of people in our audience, even if you guys already graduated from college or from high school, there's always this urge to do something for our country or for our bayan. So as what we always say, whenever we talk about our advocacy, we always say para sa bayan, para sa whatever city we're representing, and that's synonymous also to how we found the Support Local Pinas. So let me just share my screen so I can present to you guys about what Support Local Pinas is all about. Oopsie. Okay. Alright. Ayan. So, first things first, no. Because Support Local Pinas and Support Local Tagum kasi is founded by my friends and me because we were former student leaders also when we were in university. So, pandemic happened, COVID happened. Sabi nga nila 2020 is a year that was canceled. It was a year that didn't happen at all. Kasi nga wala rong ganap. But again, if if you are very conscious, to be honest, about what's happening in our surroundings, about the hundred of thousand people, Filipinos, who got laid off of their jobs, if you are conscious and if you're aware of the hundreds of thousands of businesses all over the country na nag-close because of the pandemic, you just can't sit back and relax in the comforts of your home saying na, okay, let's just binge watch something on Netflix. Let's just, kumbaga, mag-marathon na lang tayo ng movie sa bahay. Because, we have other Filipinos as well who are not as privileged as ours. So, first mindset that we have when we were working how support local advocacy will come into being is that number one, we realize and we emphasize, especially to our audience right now, no, if you have an advocacy and if you are thinking of doing something about it, we just want to share to you guys that nothing is too big for the reasonably disturbed. So if you're a reasonably disturbed individual who can't stop thinking na ano kaya pwede nating gawin, um, ilang months na since the quarantine started. I think it's going 6 months or 7 months. Malapit nang magpasko. How about our fellow Filipinos now? Walang-wala until magpapasko na lang. So it's something that would really disturb you, and it's something that we cannot just sit back and relax. Second, aside from being reasonably disturbed, is that if you know what your privileges are, the easier for you to know what you can do to give back. Kasi like just yesterday or the other day, I also gave a talk to L.E.AD.S students, political science students, and then they were asking also about how to create a project or program about an advocacy that they're interested in, and for me the answer will always be there's nothing, kumbaga, it's not really hard or it's not really difficult to know your starting point when creating an advocacy because you just have to look at yourself, check your skills, what are your privileges, and then kung ano yung meron ka, then that's the thing or those are the things that you can share. Kasi mahirap magbigay na wala naman tayong ganun. For example, financial. It's hard to give money if ikaw mismo you're also not financially well or financially stable. So, for example, if you're not financially capable, then maybe you can do other skills or you can share other expertise for your advocacy. Which now leads us to support local Pinas. So, yun na nga, it started with us being reasonably disturbed about, hey, we need to do something, what can we do? We cannot just tweet, we cannot just post, kasi kahit ilang post siya retweet natin, wala pa ring mangyayari. So, we decided, okay, let's create something. At first, it was just kumbaga individual businesses lang na individually we created the business like food business, dessert business, etc., reselling business. But as time went by, it became apparent to us na yes, we're doing business for ourselves, but I think we have to be more than that. I think we have the capacity to share. So it led us to a realization na doing business during this time in a pandemic is actually a privilege. And when you have that privilege, you now have the social responsibility to lift and support other businesses as well. Kasi hindi lahat sa pandemic, hindi lahat may kapital, hindi lahat may oras, hindi lahat may skills, hindi lahat may networks, kumbaga para kumbaga your business can flourish, and if you're selling something, your clients, your circle of clients will also flourish. So for us who are privileged enough, we really encourage everyone to support other local businesses as well. So now the question is how, no? The question is how, why, paano ba siya gagawin? It's easy to say support local, it's easy to use the hashtag, but ano ba talaga? Ano ba talaga yung pwede natin gawin? So Support Local Pinas actually started from Support Local na individual chapters. So we have a friend who is a blogger. She's Bifa Bonifacio. She created this group in Davao City, which is Support Local Davao. And then all businesses in Davao City can post something, especially about sharing their products, how to contact them, tsaka following the DTI guidelines of having prices, and then contact details and product details, etc., etc. And ako naman kasi though yes, I went to school in Davao, but my hometown is in Davao del Norte. So I asked my friend Bfab, sabi ko, Bfab, can we do the same in Tagum City because the advocacy is very good. No, parang because we in Facebook, we have lots of buy and sell na Facebook groups, but there's no Facebook group that is kumbaga, that is centered lang on local businesses. So we did the support local Tagum, and then this is the story, the preliminary goal is simple. We want to create an online community solely for Tagumenyo owned and Tagumenyo branded businesses. So it has to be supportive of both the business and the entrepreneur. Kasi ang support local advocacy naman, it has been around for lots of years and even decades already. But it has always been supportive lang of support local products, not really about the entrepreneurs. Kasi paano naman din, di ba, yung mga naghihirap and kumbaga nagsa-sideline ng pagbebenta, ng pagluluto, etc., etc. So we want to support that as well. Our mission is simple, no? Kasi in the pandemic, we are talking about the declining local economy, local and national economy. So for us to be supportive also of our community, not just the individual, we want to help boost local economy by empowering local entrepreneurs. And even if you're not a local entrepreneur, if you don't have you don't have background in business, but you want to learn, then we also have webinars. Vision naman is simple, no? We want to see lots and lots of market competitive Tagumenyo entrepreneurs. Kasi sabi na nga nila, kumbaga, madali lang magbenta, but it's actually not easy to sell, especially in a world where everything is digital and where the competition is not on the physical aspect but on the digital aspect. So we want to empower them to make them more competitive in the market. So what we did last August 8th, we had this we had the 8.8. Share ko lang sandali. We had the 8.8 Tagumpay sale. So this is for the Tagum City alone. What we did is on August 8, 2020, kasi we realized na kasi fan din kami ang generation namin, 'di ba? Is a huge fan of online shopping. So we were scrolling lang, me and my friends in support local Tagum. Nag-scroll lang kami sa Lazada, sa Shopee, and then we realized na, hey, what if may 8.8 sale but solely for local businesses lang. So we don't have anything against international or franchise or whatever, but we want to give the platform to the local businesses muna. So we ask our local government, we partner with our local government to publicize the program that, hey, this coming August 8 po, we will have a local 8.8 Tagumpay sale. It's the first time ever in the whole city na there will be a citywide sale solely for Tagumenyo owned and Tagumenyo branded businesses. So in this slide, that was me presenting to the local radio station in Tagum City, and then sa baba naman is one of my co-founder, Crystal Estabilio. She was also presenting sa radio station naman ng province. So siguro very very lucky on our part to have a very supportive na LGU. But then again, siguro kasi nga until during this pandemic, you cannot really be too choosy or too maarte. If you really want to help, you want to go to greater lengths, and that is to tap as many people as possible and to tap as many influential people, which is the government officials, as possible. Yeah. So this is the 8.8 sale. The result is that 100 plus, specifically 139 local businesses, purely local businesses, ang nag-join sa amin during the 8.8 sale. So they offered like 10 pesos off, or kumbaga free delivery, or buy two, take one, anything that could lure the Tagumeños, no, the city of Tagum, to to really patronize local businesses. And the result was this, which is we have several businesses na talaga namang nag-flourish, na marami silang na benta during that time, and then ang market reach din nila is talaga nag-increase. And just to end this, no, I just want to stress that whenever we do advocacy, we want to make it sustainable. So, number one, yes, we do an event. Siguro it could be one-time event, but for us to be sustainable, we really have to engage with an established organization. So in this case, the result of the Support Local Tagum and Support Local Pinas as well is that we had a partnership with our city government that in every second and fourth of Thursday here in Tagum City, the local businesses can sponsor any amount or any product. They can send it sa radio station, and it will be featured sa radio stations ng Tagum City, and at the same time sa Facebook Live as well ng city government of Tagum mismo. So, what we imagined na support local na na sale lang, it was materialized to be a long-standing na agreement and partnership with our local government. And we hope to do that as well with other cities as we engage more cities and engage more agencies with support local Pinas. So again, last message, nothing is too big talaga if you're reasonably disturbed. And the easier for us to know what we can share if we know our privileges. And doing business during this time is a privilege. And I hope that when we know what our privileges are, sana we can internalize that our social responsibility now is to support and lift others as well. That's all for me. Thank you, Sir Ben.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And I think we are very the word that you use, reasonably disturbed, I think very fitting for this time. And well, I'm a Tagueño rin for some time. And I see the progressive movement of the city. And isang napasin ko lang, can we borrow with pride or collaborate also with Support Pilipinas if in case there are other areas that are particularly with our viewers right now who would be interested to actually create their local parang support local their area. So how could we do the collaboration?
Yes po, sir. Actually, we encourage everyone, especially if they want to, example, support local Bicol, support local Naga. We are very much eager to collaborate with you. You can just send us a message to support local Pinas Facebook page, or they can send me a message also on my Facebook page. Para mas pagana support local Pinas na para at least central lahat yung communication. And we will be very excited to talk with you. And actually, kung sino naman talaga yung nasa city, sila talaga yung magli-lead. What we can do is just we will collaborate lang with best practices that could also be a good practice sa kanilang chapters.
Okay, thank you for that, Lisa. And we would like to do a shout out for our viewers from Danao, Cebu, Tarlac, Bicol, Isabela, Albay, Antipolo, Tondo, Manila, Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Tagum, Davao del Norte. We have from La Paz, Tarlac, Concepcion, Tarlac, Iloilo, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, and Pangasinan. So, good evening po sa mga viewers natin. And Krisa, please be on standby. We'll have an open forum in a while. Maraming salamat sa pag-share about support local Pinas. And now we proceed to another speaker. And from Tagum, Davao del Norte, we now go to Iloilo City. A good friend of mine may call on Bugs Bugaay to actually help us understand and clearly share to us about BCBP, the Brotherhood of Christian Business and Professionals. Brother Bugs, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Ben. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Actually, I'm surprised. In-invite mo ako, and thank you din sa pag-attend sa breakfast ng BCBP last month ba yun. Thank you din sa Runcation. Actually, this is a very good venue for everyone na to to make other people aware of our advocacies. Actually, nanibago ko kasi during our time, wala pa tong mga Zoom. So, yeah,
Yeah.
di ba? I don't want to disclose our age, Ben, no? Pero, I would like to share na yung screen. Baka magbukuhan na tayo ng ng edad.
Oo nga eh. Sige, okay.
So, yeah. So, I'm here tonight, everyone, to share with you about the Brotherhood of Christian Businessmen and Professionals. So let me start with our history, no. Basically, BCBP traces its beginnings to the Ang Ligaya ng Panginoon Covenant Community. Ka-age ko to, yung BCBP. It's in July 1980, 24 men met at the Makati Sports Club in what was to be the first men's breakfast of the soon-to-be Brotherhood of Christian Businessmen and Professionals. Of course, the initial breakfast flourished with more and more businessmen and professional attending. This signaled the start of our first Life in the Spirit seminar, which is the forerunner of the present Brotherhood Christian Life program. In just a span of 2 years, the chapter split into 2 more. By 1984, we have a chapter now in San Juan, and of course, one remained in Makati. Today, we are happy to say that the BCBP has now 121 full chapters and 43 outreaches, including 6 chapters, 6 outreaches, and several missions in the USA, Canada, Southeast Asia, namely Singapore, Hong Kong, and Indonesia. So to recap, we started in 1980 in Makati lang. And today, we are all over the world. And proud to say, Pinoy. Dati tayo lang yung spread ng word of the Lord. We are just recipients. Right now, tayo na ang nagsispread all over the world. So, of course, the BCBP is duly registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission as a non-stock, non-profit organization. It is fully recognized by the Archdiocese of Manila and in all dioceses of where it operates nationwide. Just to clear lang, we're not purely Catholic lang. We also respect and we have members from the different Christian denominations. So our members meet in action groups, attend assemblies, and of course, we identify, we train and develop Christian leaders. I failed to mention that we are also a batch kami ni Ben to in the AYLA Young Leaders, and I think we're the second batch. And never did I think na I'll be part of developing Christian leaders then in the future, where we will become agents of justice and sound development in the work environment. We also conduct workshops, seminars, and retreats as requested by companies. Usually we call it as a market evangelization program, where we discuss and present ways by which the Christian businessmen and professional can deal with in the marketplace. We have the singular distinction, the BCBP, of having introduced and sustained the BCBP Christian men and women breakfast that has changed the lives of we have changed so many lives of businessmen and women and professionals throughout its years of existence. If you want to join, we have around 160 breakfast venues from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Throughout the Philippines, where businessmen and women meet for food, fellowship, fun, and inspiration through the life sharing of our fellow Christian. Usually, the breakfast is the main entry point into our organization. So what is our mission, or rather, what is our vision, and what is our advocacy? We have a very simple vision. It is to bring Christ into the marketplace and win the marketplace for Christ. Usually, when we talk about businessmen, professionals, pera-pera lang, trabaho, reports, deadlines. But in BCBP, we would like to make it that the marketplace is for Christ, and we would like to win the marketplace for Christ. COVID-19 has a very great effect sa amin. I would like to narrow it down dito sa amin chapter. I'm here in Iloilo, and my chapter is Molo. 70% of our members are 50 years old and above. So it's really hard to do this online thing, online meetings, online planning, because our members are old. So it's really hard to introduce new things to them. So basically, all our face-to-face activities were canceled or postponed. Better yet, um, all our breakfast meetings every Saturday, wala na. Ang every first Friday namin na general assemblies where we miss each other after a whole week of working, wala na rin. For our new members, we're trying to devise an online formation talk, wala na rin. Our Christian Life program for new members, wala na. Our regular twice a month action group meetings, wala na rin. Even our mass, because even mass gatherings are not allowed right now. And of course, we are trying to make the Antique outreach to be a chapter. Medyo na-delay na rin, apektado dahil sa COVID-19. And of course, what we tried to do during this pandemic since March is first to take care of our members. So, love your own muna. Love starts sa sariling bahay. And our chapter head is a cardiologist. So, of course, we tried to help then our medical frontliners here in Iloilo. And we had to adapt talaga. So we had to upgrade our technological assets, and we had no choice but to utilize online meetings. So our current activities right now, I think naka-join si Ben one time. We had this regional breakfast online na. The good thing is we now have a wider audience via Zoom and FB Live. Dati, we only have a maximum attendance of 100. Pag, masama pang panahon, we only have 20. Right now, we have a regular audience of 500 viewers via FB Live every Saturday. So, we are able to spread the good news with a better platform through Zoom and FB Live. Our online general assemblies, we are still able to do it kahit online. So, iwas COVID na. Ngayon, we're able to reach people sa kanilang bahay through our formation talks, again, through these online platforms. First time in the history of BCBP, I believe, since 1980, that we are going to do an online Christian Life program. Depende na sa diskarte per chapter. For us here in Molo, we will be starting on September 13. It's hard, really. It's hard because most of our leaders are seniors. So we had to teach them how to use the Zoom, how to the FB Live, the group chats, and everything. We started with our online chapter governance meeting. So, pero yung regional leaders, face-to-face pa rin. Kasi we miss each other. So, konti lang. Usually, mag-meeting yung regional leaders. 5, 8 lang sila. So, now, with this, it's a very short presentation lang eh. So with this, we would like to invite you as a member of the BCBP, of the Brotherhood of Christian Businessmen and Professionals, to join our online breakfast meetings every Saturday morning. If you feel down from Sundays to Fridays, join us every Saturday morning. Usually 7:30 nagsa-start kami. You could choose from Makati, San Juan, Iloilo to Davao. We have different breakfast meetings every Saturday. And you could also check out our website if you want to know more about BCBP. Sa mga millennials, we also have Facebook. And by the way, we also we have created already a BCBP Youth because we realized that patanda we're getting older in the membership of the BCBP. So we have now the BCBP Youth na rin na programa. And of course, if you want to listen to our homegrown songs na rin, where our BCBP members record our own songs. You could watch these videos and songs in our YouTube channel, the BCBP TV. We have also there some sharings, mini sharings of our members to, to perk you up when you're down. So again, I have a very short presentation. So Ben and Runcation, salamat talaga for this opportunity to share about BCBP to this online platform. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bugs. Well, ano to, we need really to change in this very very fluid environment. Pero Bugs, I have a question lang. So, parang is BCVP now, parang di ba before there were chapters. I mean like geographically. But right now, because this is actually more of online. So
Yeah.
how do you treat the chapters already? So kasi parang as you have mentioned, people can join let's say online. So how do we like for example here in Bicol, like do we go directly to on the online, or we go to the respective chapters pa?
Well, you could do both. The purpose of doing the chapters kasi we learned lessons from different from other religious communities na dapat maliit lang, konti lang yung members namin para ma-shepherd, you could guide kasi kung sobrang dami, you won't know everyone. But actually it is a gift na yung pandemic sa amin kasi we realized that we could unite as one. So we borrow best practices right now. So some chapters are very good in adapting sa online. So we learn from them. But again, yeah, you're welcome. Example sa amin, you could have breakfast. Kahit yung hindi pandemic, you could have breakfast in any chapter. You are welcome. Member ka man or guest, Ben, you are welcome to any chapter sa amin.
Thank you for that, Bugs, and please be on standby. We'll have an open forum later, but greatly appreciated what BCBP is doing, because even right now that the market is really down, we need more we need more of that spirituality to be infused in all of our brethren. Thank you very much, Bugs.
Thank you.
So yeah. So we now proceed again from Iloilo. We now go to Naga, Camarines Sur, to actually help us discuss and know further the group that's called Kindness Team.
Yeah.
May call on John David Panaligan to give us an orientation of what your organization is actually doing. Take it away,
Alright.
John.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Sir Ben, for inviting me here. Actually, this is a great opportunity for me to represent the cause of our organization. So first of all, our organization was created due to pandemic, since yung mga panahon na masyadong ACQ. Later on, I'm gonna show you some photos of our outreach programs relative to each barangay. So before kasi nagsimula kami sa Kindness Team, ang ginagawa lang namin is we provide PPEs and protective gears doon sa mga frontliners. And at the same time, mga food packs doon sa mga frontliners na nag-handle ng total lockdown zone. So luckily, during that time, we have several sponsors and friends na tumutulong sa amin, especially for providing several food packs, providing PPEs, and especially bumubuno talaga kami sa mga personal money namin out of this. And ang mga kasama ko dito hindi lang sila mga ordinaryong tao. Some of them are instructors, college and professionals, college instructors, college professors. Some are businessmen, restaurant owners here in Naga City, and more of them are professionals. So before kasi na-start lang tong organization namin during na ECQ talaga, doon sa sobrang lockdown, yung first wave of lockdown natin. So nagkaroon kasi ng group dito sa Naga City, which is NKC19, which is Naga Contra COVID. And yung platform na yun, yung Facebook platform na yun, ay naging way para maging hingian ng tulong sa mga tao, yung mga nangangailangan nila, and at the same time din yung mga taong kailangan ng assistance, and yung mga may lockdown and so tracing. But later on, napansin namin na yung support ng local government dito ay hindi talaga kayang i-sustain yung ganong needs, especially sa mga frontliners. Kasi we do have lots of frontliners here in Naga City, and at the same time, medyo kinukulang yung budget ng city out of it. So we don't know the procedures, but what we do is to help them on this battle. So what we do is, especially personally, ako lang unang gumawa dito ng way eh. Bumili ako ng mga face mask, gloves, and face shields para ipamigay doon sa mga frontliners na wala silang mga protective gear. Especially one of those days kasi na pumunta ako doon sa market para bumili ng mga essentials namin dito sa bahay, napansin ko na yung mga nasa front lines is wala talaga silang face shield, may face mask sila, wala silang face shield, at wala silang yung gloves. So what I can do on that is bumili talaga ako from our own pocket ng money out of it, then binigay ko talaga sa mga frontliners at umikot ako sa buong Naga City out of this. And buti na lang may mga tumulong sa akin doon na ipinag-drive ako, sinamahan ako, binigyan ako ng access from the LGU and support ng isang counselor dito. And after that, ginawa namin siya for several times. Actually, nung nakita yun sa social media, maraming nagtanong sa akin at maraming mga taong tumulong din sa akin. Isa na rin dito si Attorney Macaraiga at saka si Bicolanang Spider-Man. So what we do here is nag-collab talaga yung organization namin and we become the NKC-19. So out of it, napansin din namin na during na ginagawa namin yung pamimigay ng mga PPEs, mga protective gills and shields sa mga tao na nasa frontline, especially for frontliners, nakita din namin yung need sa communities. Kasi especially for the time na mayroon talagang lockdown, from several communities here in Naga City, nagkaroon talaga ng kaliwat kanan ng mga lockdowns. So medyo yung tao hindi sila hirap sila kung saan kukunin yung mga pagkain nila kasi hindi sila makalabas to buy their essentials, especially ng mga lockdown. And more of the people here in Naga City at dun sa mga community yun ay mahihirap. So out of awa naman na ginawa namin, so sobra kaming naawa dun sa community kasi nauulan ng napa-flood ng news feeds yung community forum na kung saan maraming humihingi ng tulong, mayroong mga matatanda, PWDs, at saka sobrang yung mga below poverty line na mga tao talaga na sobrang, kung makikita mo nga mamaya, may mga lugar talaga na hindi ko talaga napupuntahan. So what we do is, sabi naman namin during our meeting, weekly meeting sa team, sabi ko, what if kaya tulungan natin yung mga poor communities na hihingin natin sa LGU para i-support natin sila for their own needs. Especially, hindi lang doon sa may lockdown area, but doon talaga sa mga poor, deprived areas. So what we do is, nakipagtulungan kami sa LGU to provide us ng list nila ng mga below poverty communities at yung mga depressed area, and we make a general list out of it. Then, out of our activity, nafa-found out namin kung kumukuha kami ng mga representatives from the specific organization, community, and especially itong para tumulong sa amin, and barangay officers and people. So para at least makipag-coordinate sa amin kung ilan talaga yung kailangan bigyan ng mga food packs and support for their commodities doon sa bahay. So luckily, marami kaming na-hit na mga tao, especially hindi lang yung mga nangangailangang mga community, especially doon sa mga out of mga PWDs, pati na din yung mga senior citizens kasi hindi sila makalabas during that time. So after that, yun ang ginagawa namin for almost 2 months ng lockdown kasi yun yung ginagawa talaga namin. Minsan nga iniisip namin paano na nga yung fund namin na pambibili kasi nabuso na kami ng cost. We are being creative on finding funds kung para saan ba ito gagawin. Sabi namin yan, kailangan natin kailangan naman natin. Huwag na tayong masyadong mag-goods, mag-noodles, mag-canned goods. Bili naman tayo ng mga raw material, mga perishable goods like mga gulay. Nakapagpunta-punta na kami kung saan na farm para makapag-source out ng murang gulay at saka bilihin. So yun talaga yung ginagawa namin. Actually, nakakapagod siya kasi pag bili mo pa lang, bibit ito pa yun, sakay mo sa sakyan, tapos after that, unload, i-repack mo na naman. Marami talagang i-repack mo na naman siya. So, pero yung core members namin na gumagalaw lang sa amin, nasa 15 lang kami. But the support of the community out of it, especially for our friends and abroad, the OFWs are pouring out. So kami naman, hindi naman kami nawawalan ng gana na gumawa talaga ng gumawa kasi we are doing this out of love and care for the people. So yun yung ginagawa namin. And we are, that time nga, sobrang hirap na ako umuwi kasi around 7, mag-curfew na. But luckily, nakita naman ng LGU sa amin dito, yung effort na ginagawa namin as private organization. So, binigay na kami ng, kumbaga, passes para makapunta lang kami sa mga market, sa mall, para magbili ng mga goods. So, by that, na-support kami ng LGU. So, na-recognize din kami ng humanitarian task group ng Naga City and to be part of it and collaboration with the Red Cross. So yun yung nangyari sa amin, and we are being recognized by the EMT with the people of the EMT, kasi yun talaga ang ginagawa namin out of passion. Minsan nga tinatanong ako, JD, may plano ka bang magpolitiko? Sabi ko, wala naman akong planong politiko eh. I'm doing this because I love the people. I do care for the people. So ayun, marami kaming ginawa dito, and sobrang blessed lang kami during that time kasi friends, dito hindi ko naman akalain na tutulong talaga siya sa akin. So ito, JD, isang karton ng gatas. Nakikita nila, kailangan ng mga tao dito gatas, pagkain, essentials, pampaligo. So yun talaga ang kino-collect namin. So we become creative on selecting, para itong mga pack na to, para ba to sa mga PWD? Okay. Itong pack naman na to, para to sa mga senior citizen. Ito naman pack na to, we are creating more creative on paghalo-halo ng mga packs na ginagawa namin. So I'm gonna show you some of our pictures and activity. Okay lang ba mag-share screen ako, Sir Ben?
Sure, no problem.
Alright. So papakita ko dito sa inyo yung mga some of our activities na ginagawa namin before. Yeah. So yan, as I said nga kanina, nakikita niyo po ba, Sir? Ben?
Yes, it's clear. Yeah.
Right. So before, tumutulong din kami sa mga frontliners, especially may mga face shields kaming ginawa dyan na ibinibigay namin sa mga frontliners, especially hindi lang sa municipality ng Naga City, but the adjacent municipalities. And yung mga sa PSO, kung nadaan namin sila, binibigyan namin sila ng mga ginawa lang din namin ng mga face shields during that time. So that's our activity before. Then afterwards, napunta na yung mga ginagawa namin community. We gathered the lots of resources out of it, and yung pagtulungan namin with the Red Cross. And luckily lang din, yung St. Jude Parish ay meron talaga silang list ng mga deprived municipalities. So nakatulong talaga sa amin yung mga independent organizations, especially yung mga simbahan, yung mga organization na penetrated talaga dun sa community. So yun ang mga ginagawa namin habang namimigay kami ng yung mga relief na ginagawa namin. You know, when you see the people smile, na parang di naman namin sila kilala eh, pero yung smile lang nila sa amin is a great encouragement at nawawala yung pagod namin. So ito nga, one of the time nakakita lang kami ng PWD na mag-asawa na tinutulak ang asawa niya sa road. So binaba talaga namin yon, tapos binabigyan, umingi pa kami ng assistance sa police station para ihatid talaga sila kasi di pwedeng lumabas sila during that time eh. Tapos as I said, ngayon na nga, yan yung mga pinamimigay namin. Actually, sinurse out na pa namin to yung mga langkoy, mga tuyo, mga canned goods, mga gulay, para lang ipamigay sa mga communities. So as you can see, si Father nga medyo napabuhat na nga ng karton dito eh, out of our activities. So ito yung mga ginagawa namin, and especially marami pa kasi siya eh. Right. So, kung makikita nyo talaga yung effort ng organization namin, actually, to tell you honestly, 15 lang yung mga communities, mga ganyan, sir. Actually, hindi ko nga expected na makakarating ako sa ganitong communities. Kasi pag nakita mo ang Naga, di ba, what you can see in Naga is parang grandiose, city, maganda siya, maraming malls, and everything makulay, lalo na sa paggabi, sa plaza. But you know, out of it, makikita mo yung mga communities na ganito ang kalagayan. So, parang for me, it's a great opportunity man din na isabi na parang gusto kong tulungan yung mga tao. And minsan nga, Sir Ben, nakakaroon kami ng encounter na yung bahay nila is payag-payag talaga. Alam mo yung mga tarpaulin? Yes, ganun talaga yung tarpaulin lang yung dingding, tapos 6 sila sa bahay, tapos 4 na corner lang, tapos isa may second floor. Na ganun lang talaga, parang may papag lang. So, yun yung community na meron ang Naga City na hindi nakikita kung kayo pupunta dito sa Naga. Kasi makikita nyo, mga city, malls, and everything. Pero ito ang tunay na muka ng Naga City noong pandemya. So, ito yung mga kinokolekta namin na mga nabibi out of our donations na nakuha namin from OFW, from friends. In-stock up namin yan. Tapos, kung kaya na nito for target families, sige, go natin yan. I-repack na namin to. So, ito yung mga varieties na nire-repack namin for communities. Kung makita nyo naman, sir, napaka-creative kasi hindi lang pang pamilya talaga, pati pang bata meron talaga. And may hygiene kit kaming nilagay dyan kasi, may mga pamilya kasi na parang tingin namin hindi na naliligo out of it. So, yan, yun yung mga ginagawa namin. Actually, sinuwid talaga namin yung mga deprived and depressed community. So, this is our team na very active. Kung makita nyo yan, sir, ito yung sinasabi kong mga sinorse out pa namin na gulay para lang mapamigay sa mga tao. So, nakakapagod in our part. But, that's what we are doing eh. That's the cause, that's the love of the people that what we do. So, kami naman sa organization, we feel the pain and their depressed, these frustrations out of the government system. But you know what? Hindi na natin kailangan magreklamo eh. In our part, sabi ko nga sa kanila, hindi na natin kailangan magreklamo. Hindi na natin kailangan magreklamo sa gobyerno kung kulang ba o tama ba nabibigay. Basta sabi ko, kung may matutulong tayo, magtulong na lang tayo eh. That's the cause and that's the love that we can give to people. And that's the kindness that we have in our heart to share it for other people. So right now, still, may mga ginagawa pa rin naman ng organization, but hindi na ganoon ka major or organization, hindi na ka major yung activity namin. Kasi may mga trabaho na naman mayroon naman ng mga time ang mga pamilya na maghanap buhay. So tinutulungan na lang namin yung mga kailangan talagang tumulungan na humihingi sa amin ng tulong through on Facebook account. So through our Facebook page, ang dami yan, sir. Actually, umabot yan ng 1,000 plus na message na hindi namin nababasa. Kasi sobrang daming tumutulong that time. Pero naging selective na kami sa mga taong tinutulungan namin since nagkakaroon naman ng economical recovery. So, yun yung ginagawa namin, sir, out of it. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, sir, hindi naman kami masyadong formal na organization, but out of it, we make difference. We share our kindness and our love to our fellow people here in Naga City. Salamat po, Sir Ben. Salamat po sa lahat.
Thank you, JD. And I think the kindness team really created a dent in making a difference in the lives of the Nagueños. And JD, please be on standby. We'll have an open forum in a while. Okay, thank you.
Sir. Thank you so much po. God bless.
So we now proceed to another organization, and we now go to the coastal areas, and we will be calling on the co-founder of Aklatan sa Kostal, Maria Soledad Arquisa. Hello, Sol. Magandang gabi. Tell us something more about Aklatan sa Kostal.
Hi, Ben. So let me share something about our family advocacy. So Aklatan sa Kostal is our own family advocacy. So we started it way back in 2013, so that right now we're on our 7th year. Actually, we just celebrated our 7th year this month, and the inspiration on why we started that library is when yung nanay ko, when my nanay and tatay went back to the farm after we graduated from college. So as part of their retirement, they started to go back to the farm, and then my nanay noticed that most of the kids there has a low the level of literacy is very low, or some of them are illiterate. So she started to tutor them, and then she's thinking of a way on how to help them, because ever since we were a kid, we were always told that the Aklatan that education is really important in order for us to uplift our lives. And we are lucky that amongst our siblings, me and my brother and sisters, at one point in our life, we were scholars. We got scholarships from different organizations, from different from school and from the government. And that's yun yung naka-instill sa mind namin, and that's what my nanay and tatay wanted to impart to the kids there, to give them the opportunity to get educated. So she talked to us, and then proposed that their farmhouse, they will convert it into a library. That's where we started collecting books from our relatives and friends, and then Aklatan sa Kostal started, and we share for the because we need bookshelves. Some of my friends and relatives also gave monetary donation for us to start with the library, and we have books there, toys and computers and other learning materials. Some of the books right now in Aklatan were donated, came from not just the Philippines, not just locally. We accepted, we already received donations from our relatives in the US and some friends in Canada and in Singapore, friends in Korea. So the support of the relatives and friends are really big in when we started with the advocacy. And currently, we already have around 30 Ask Corners, Aklatan sa Kostal Corner. So that's a mini library that we distributed in various areas in the Cainta Marinas Norte as well as other provinces in the Bicol region. So basically, the goal is for the kids to have to generate their interest, the reading interest and habits, so that the literacy will be uplifted. So there are some photos that we have. I'm sharing it. We have parties and then book readings, activities in the library, and the major projects that we have, aside from the main library we're in, the large collection of reading materials is there. When we started, a lot of people in the community, which is a very, you can say it's a far-flung area, it's a coastal area, are asking, some of them are asking what a library is, what an Aklatan is. And nakakalungkot lang isipin na some of them haven't heard of what a library is until we started the Aklatan sa Kostal. And then due to the distance of the kids with in the vicinity, we came up with an idea of a mobile library, because kids needs to walk for a few kilometers so that they can just go to the library. So kami na yung lumapit to the community to do the mobile library that we have, because initially the targeted beneficiaries are 4 barangays in Mercedes, the Pambuhan, Matugtuog, Masalong-Salong, and Hinipaan. So we started the mobile library after a year or 2. And then another project as part of the expansion is the Aklatan sa Kostal Corner. Just to give you a background, the reason why we started it is because a lot of our friends and colleagues and even acquaintances are asking for books. They're asking, pahingi naman kami for our schools, for our organizations. And that's where we came up with the idea. We don't want just to donate just books, because we noticed it that a lot of people keeps on donating books, and then andun lang siya. They left it. Some of them don't have a place to put on. That's why we started with an idea of giving a corner, a small it's just a small library, in the sense that you have a bookshelf and then the books, references, encyclopedia, textbooks, and dictionary and educational materials in it. And the last not the last, the most recent project that we have is the toy library. So this is something that is very close to my heart. I started it way last year. I was inspired by a friend who also a benefactor of Aklatan. He sent toys for the kids, and I asked him why he wanted to share toys for the kids, because he says that it's something that is that can help in the development of the social as well as the cognitive skills of the kids, and entice them to go to the library and eventually start their reading habits. So a good friend of ours from Share Your Spare Singapore has helped me with the toys that we have for the toy library, which we opened last year. So we have major programs for the Aklatan during the 7 years that we have. So Balik Eskwela, or back to school program. So this is the normal distribution of school supplies. We also have scholarship program for elementary and high school students. We also conduct classes like reading classes, computer, music, ukulele, because my younger sister is into ukulele, and then photography, and then public speaking as well. Another program that we started is the BSTN program. So this share, teach, and inspire. So it's more on sharing your profession, what you do, providing the kids with a better outlook of other alternatives that we have. Because nakakalungkot again that it's sad that if you ask them what are their dreams, they will just say they just wanted to graduate high school. So it's something that is heartbreaking on our end because we know how much or how what would be the impact if they would study in the local college in the area, because we already have a state college in Camarines Norte. So it's accessible. The schools or education is readily accessible now. So we also have book drive campaign and literacy club in the library. It's a book drive for the Aklatan sa Kostal Corner projects. And yes, we have activities in Aklatan sa Kostal. We have parties. A lot of our group or organizations spend anniversaries in the library as well as Thanksgiving. So the first group that spend their anniversary as part of their anniversary celebration in Aklatan is my high school batchmates. When we celebrated our 15th year anniversary as part of our paying it forward, as part of our outreach, we have a Jollibee party in the library, and that's the first time that they saw Jollibee. And a friend of mine just was telling us that during that time is telling me that mas sikat pa si Jollibee kaysa kay Daniel Padilla, because a lot of people, not just kids, even adults are there and they're enjoying the party that we have. So afterwards, we have a few more Jollibee parties celebration, but I think the first one is the most memorable one. We also have a donate a chair program as part of the expansion. We need to get more chairs for the kids to use. So we convince our friends to skip a cup or two of Starbucks coffee just for them to in exchange for a chair. And then we also distributed toys for the kids, and then we have feeding programs. Medical and dental mission, we already have that activity in the library, and tree planting, because we wanted to also encourage them to love the nature more. And since we are in a coastal area, we are at risk of any environmental issues that we have. So yeah, we have a lot of activities in the library. One of the most memorable activity is our partnership with Cassie for the Cassie's Bag of Dreams. Cassie is just a 14-year-old young lady when she visited Aklatan sa Kostal, around 14 or 15. And she pools money. She encourages her friends as well as organizations to donate for the cost. And during that time, we distributed 500 backpacks. So around 400 was for the kids in the coastal area, and we also allocated around 100 backpacks for the IP community in Camarines Norte. So the lower portion of the photos are groups from AMA, a local school, as well as Mabini colleges. So they spend their Thanksgiving in the library. And the other photo is the 61st anniversary celebration of my nanay's high school batchmates. So this is something it's not just a library. It's also a way, or it also serves as a way for people to bond. Yeah, the same as with the anniversaries that they have. So, but when COVID happens, we need the library close because as part of the precautions that we have. But we started a crowdfunding a drive for the community frontliners, because we noticed that a lot of people, the focus when the pandemic started, the focus is on helping the health workers, which is really should be the priority. But we also neglected the community frontliners, specifically the BHW, the barangay health workers. So they are the one who goes house to house to educate the people of what COVID is. And in order for us to pay it forward or to appreciate their service, we gave them food packs. and it's the BHW has I think 173 community frontliners that we catered for that initiative. And an ongoing initiative that we have is the is the face mask donation drive campaign. So as of today, we already identified 52 beneficiaries. So why cloth face mask? Because we also wanted to help the local mananahe, because some of them don't have their means of living is being affected by the pandemic. So there, and another good news is that an organization has also pledged to donate around 2,000 face masks. So we're just waiting for that. So that's additional 20 schools that we can distribute to the Bicol region. So these are our partners. We have these are the organizations or government agencies that we've worked with, and some of them are we still have partnerships in a sense. It's not really formal partnership because we're not really a registered non-profit organization. It's more on they're just helping the library for in a personal capacity, or some of them has recognized us as a legitimate non-profit or as an organization. So these are just the partners that we have. But I think I can say that with all the partners that we work with, the most special one for now is the National Bookstore as well as Jollibee. The reason why it is special for our family is because when around 2 years ago we got recognized by Jollibee, they gave us an award in the eight Family Values Awards, and due to our initiative with Aklatan sa Kostal. And prior to that, 2 years prior to that, National Bookstore, in partnership as well with Jollibee, they gave us a special citation for education award for the Aklatan sa Kostal initiative that we started. So we have future plans. We have plans on the pipeline right now. Some are ongoing. We have the partner career coach for Pinoy kids. So it's similar to our BStain program. So it's more on a remote. It's like a webinar similar to this one. So each profession, there is a specific person who discusses his or her profession, so that the kids will have an idea that it's not that there are other professions that they can look up, not just the normals one like engineer or teachers or other or accountant or other professions that we have. And then EU Go from US, we have a project on the pipeline for this one. And then You Go from Canada, we are on the talks with them as well. But due to COVID, we need to put a hold on that. And recently, personally, I was trained. I was part of the global training for the Climate Reality Project that was spearheaded by former Vice President Al Gore. So there, the reason why I applied for the training is because I wanted to branch out or to focus more or add this as our advocacy. It's more on focusing on the environmental issues that we have. So there, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to share our story. So Aklatan sa Kostal is a family advocacy, not just for the Arquiza family, but I think all the organizations or persons that became part of the Aklatan sa Kostal, we already consider them as our family, because hindi namin mararating, we cannot we cannot survive, or we will not be what we are right now, not without the support of the friends and relatives that we have when we are starting. So thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Sol. And I think, actually, I heard about your project years back, but I think, basing from, from the comments from our viewers, I think there will be a lot of, collaborations in the future. So, thank you very much for making a difference in the lives of our coastal brothers and sisters, particularly in Bicol. So, Sol, please be on standby. We'll be having our open forum in a while. Maraming salamat.
Thanks, Ben.
So now, yeah. So now we go to the theater arts. Going back to Naga City, may I call on Miss Paula Guevara, the External Affairs Coordinator of Teatro de Santa Luisa. Hello, Paula. I think, Paula, you're on mute. Okay, there.
Okay, so
Okay.
Marhay na banggi sa Indogabos. Good evening po, Sir Ben, and sa lahat po ng nanonood ngayong gabi. So, ayun po, we are from Teatro de Santa Luisa. So, the Teatro de Santa Luisa is the theater organization of the Higher Education Department and Senior High School Department of Universidad de Santa Isabel, Naga City. Sa Camarines Sur po kami. So, as a theater organization, we make advocacy plays. Sumasabay po kami sa takbo ng buhay. Kung ano po yung mga napapanahong issues, yun po yung mga ginagawa naming plays. For example, kapag election period, gumagawa kami ng election advocacy plays. Ngayon po about sa environment, kapag may ayun po climate change, gumagawa din kami ng mga environmental plays and a lot more. So hindi lang po plays ang ginagawa namin. We also make short films, short skits, and a lot more. So to give further information about our group, we have prepared a short video po for a while.
Hello, Paula, it's not yet playing.
Ay, it's not playing po. Ay, sorry.
Hindi pa naka-play. Okay, okay. Sige lang.
Sige po.
Okay, sure.
Hindi siya nagpe-play. Wait lang po.
Okay.
Pero nakikita na po ba yung video?
Not yet. Actually, what we see is actually your page on Who is TSL. There
Okay
you
po,
go.
for a while. Playing na po ba?
Not yet not yet on our end.
Sige. Yan. Okay po.
Okay, there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ano siyang sound? Walang sound. Yun po. So that's Teatro de Santa Luisa. Yun po kami. May sound po nila. Nawala
Yeah,
yung
you have. Nawala lang. But yeah.
Nawala lang.
Go ahead,
Okay po.
Paula.
Okay po. Thank you. So, yun po. The Teatro de Santa Luisa, yun po kami po. We're now on our 20th year. Malaki po sana yung celebration namin ngayon. We had plans like ipagpapatuloy po namin yung sining na umaalab or yung regional theater festival po namin, and then a lot more activities po like stage plays and all. But then, eto po, nagkaroon ng pandemic. So, isa sa pinakatinamaan talaga ng pandemic is yung mga performing artists. Kasi po kami, yun, unang-una, bawal po yung social gatherings, bawal ang live performance. Actually po, yung last play namin, last February, hindi po sana namin ma-reach yung target audience namin, yung mga private and public high schools. Kasi po, usually, they are our audience because we want to teach the students ng ano nila, ng mga lessons na tinuturo namin sa play. Pero yun nga po, buti na lang at na-push through pa din with the permits and all. So yun po, big challenge po talaga ito para sa aming mga performing artists. But hindi po kami nagpatalo sa COVID-19. Gumawa pa din kami ng paraan para ipagpatuloy ang pagtatanghal. At dun po isinilang ang project namin na tinatawag na Mientras Teatro. Okay, so Mientras Teatro came from the Bicol word Mientras Tanto, which means in the meantime. So habang suspended pa po ngayon ng mga live performances, stage performances, naisip ng grupo during the lockdown through our virtual meetings, yung mga online meetings namin na what if dalhin namin ang theater online? Katulad po ng ginagawa ng mga performing artists natin sa Manila and then other places in the world. Yun po. So, naisip namin na dalhin na lang ang theater online. So, yun po, Mientras Teatro. You can look at our videos or you can watch our videos online sa YouTube channel namin. That's Teatro de Santa Luisa. And ang mga ginagawa po naming short films doon, mga monovlogs, ano po siya, it's about COVID-19. Yung mga stories ng iba't ibang tao, iba't ibang personalities na humaharap po sa COVID-19. Aside from the monovlogs, yung mga monovlogs namin, we also have jam sessions, free theater workshops, and a lot more. So para po makita ninyo yung sinasabi ko mga monovlogs, may papakita pa akong video. Let's play. Oh. Ito ba siya? Wait. Nagpa-play na po ba?
Paula, not yet.
Okay. Ito na po.
Okay. Yeah, okay, there you go. And the sound. Okay.
SDG.
Yun po. Okay. Sige. So, yun po yung highlights ng Mientras Teatro. So, nakita niyo po dun sa video, meron kaming call for donations. So, lahat po ng videos na ina-upload namin online, it's all free. Hindi po kami humihingi ng bayad, but we are asking for donations. Kasi po, we have different beneficiaries. So, we are entertaining people and then at the same time, we are enlightening them. Tapos po, aside from that, syempre kailangan pa din meron kaming cost sa ginagawa namin. So yun po, meron kaming mga beneficiaries. Our first beneficiary po is the construction of a bakery in Bonot, Calabanga. Tapos, okay na po yun. Naibigay na po namin yung donation namin sa kanila and makakapagpagawa na po sila ng bakery because po of the donations of the people na nanonood sa Mientras Teatro. Ang second po naming beneficiary is yung mga pedicab and tricycle drivers. Since they are also considered as frontliners kasi po sila yung nagdadala ng mga frontliners natin sa papupuntahan nila. So sila po yung naisip namin na bigyan po ng free face mask. So this week po, 4th week na namin ang pamimigay and we already gave more than 800 masks. Yun po, washable and then disposable masks po. And ongoing pa din po yun. So yung mga gusto pong mag-donate ng face masks, pwede po kami. And then po, we distribute it to pedicab drivers and then tricycle drivers here in Naga City. And yung isa pa pong beneficiary namin is yung mga public school teachers po. Nabibigyan namin ng bond papers kasi yun po yung kailangan po nila ngayon. So, isa po yun sa kino-consider namin na beneficiary namin. And because of Mientras Teatro, nakita po ng isang NGO yung project namin, which is yung Coalition for Bicol Development in partnership with the United Nations Development Program. Naisip nila na what if itap namin ang Teatro de Santa Luisa to explain in a simpler way yung sustainable development goals natin. So, ngayon po, gumagawa kami ng short films, ongoing din po yun, and then pinapalabas po namin siya sa Facebook, sa YouTube channel ng Coalition for Bicol Development. So, ina-explain po namin yung SDGs in a form of short films. Mga stories po siya ng mga tao, karaniwang tao, OFWs, farmers, and a lot more. Iba't iba po. So, with that, nais ko po magpasalamat sa lahat po ng nag-donate tumulong, mga nag-perform sa Mientras Teatro, and of course, yung mga sumusuport po. And of course po sa inyo po, Sir Ben, for giving us a chance to share our project. And hopefully, yung mga nakikinig ngayon, and yung mga nagpa-participate ngayon, magkaroon tayo ng collaboration in the near future. So, yun po, maraming salamat po for this opportunity.
Paula, maraming salamat. And we're all calling our viewers later sa open forum for those of you who wanted to collaborate with the various organizations na nag-present before. We'll actually have a discussion for that. So, Paula, please be on standby. We'll have an open forum in a while. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much po.
And now, we proceed to another organization. But this is more an action organization. So we would like to call in Rafi Neil Cruz to discuss more about Bisikleta Pilipinas. Rafi, magandang gabi.
Hi, Sir Ben. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me here to share something about what Bisikleta Pilipinas is about. Ayan, good evening din sa lahat ng nanonood ngayon. Thank you for supporting this event. So yeah, to give you an idea about Bisikleta Pilipinas, sabihan ko muna kayo ng konting background tungkol sa akin so that you'll understand why I created Bisikleta Pilipinas in the first place. I was once a reporter, nagsulat ako for the Manila Times, and a lot of other local newspapers. By the way, can you hear me clear and loud?
Rafi, can you loud, the voice is okay, more volume lang para marinig ang lahat. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Ito, sir.
Okay there. Okay, yes. Okay, go ahead.
So, I was once a reporter. Nagsulat ako for the Manila Times, and during the height of my writing career, na-assign ako dun sa one of the major assignments I got was the billion pork barrel scam. And during those time din, nangyari yung, kung natatandaan niyo yung Servando hazing case. And yeah, that billion pork barrel scam. So you can just imagine how many negative things I had to go through during those times. Like my job that time was to find something negative about the Philippines every day. Why? Kasi yun naman talaga yung nagbebenta sa balita. 1, it's controversial. 2, it's negative. And 3, it's sexy. So every day, feeling ko yung trabaho ko maghanap ng butas tungkol sa Pilipinas. And I really felt bad about that. Tapos what's even worse is that because of the things I wrote before, I made a lot of Filipinos hate the Philippines as well. Kasi imagine every day you're reading about nakawan dito, tas may patayan dito, may sunog dito. I remember one time, there was a fire in Pasay City. Tapos I was on my way home, then my editor texted me na fire broke out. Tapos pumunta ako doon, tapos yung balita is about may 8 babaeng galing sa Visayas na pinangakuan ng trabahong waitress sa Manila. Pero pagdating sa Manila, yung trabaho pala nila is something worse than that. Tapos kinulong sila doon sa bahay. Nasunog yung bahay, hindi sila makalabas, tas namatay silang lahat. Ang maliban pala dun sa isa, yung isa tumalon sa 3rd floor. Anyway, yun yung mga bagay na nakikita ko before. And, dumating sa point na sabi ko, ayoko na, I wanna make it up to the Philippines. And that's why I created Bisikleta Pilipinas. Now, what Bisikleta Pilipinas is about, let me share with you the photo of the logo kasi lahat ng konsepto nandito na sa logo here. So this is Bisikleta Pilipinas. Basically, it's a fusion of 2 words. It's from bisita and bisikleta. Mahilig kasi ako magbike and it's my childhood dream talaga na to backpack the entire Philippines. So I found a way to merge yung gusto kong gawin tsaka yung advocacy ko. So this is Bisita and Bisikleta Pilipinas. Basically, it's about visiting the provinces in the Philippines through biking. Now the red, blue, and yellow, obviously that's to honor the Philippine flag. Pero yung red yung nasa taas. Bakit red yung nasa taas? Kasi this is I want Bisikleta Pilipinas to be a war. War against what? Against people na nagsasabing nakakapagod maging Pilipino. War against mga taong nagsasabing ayoko na sa Pilipinas. Bisikleta Pilipinas is me saying no to you. Bisikleta Pilipinas is me saying na I refuse to believe the idea na ang pangit-pangit ng Pilipinas. Kasi kung tutuusin yung politika, yung korupsyon, alam mo yun, yung mga krimen sa Pilipinas, napakaliit lang yun na percentage kumpara sa dinami-dami ng magagandang lugar at magagandang tao dito sa atin. And that's what I want people to realize through Bisikleta Pilipinas. Now, how do I do that? How do I do that? Since this is, sabi ko nga, this is war, so kailangan ko ng baril. Ano yung gagamitin kong baril? First, I have 3 official hashtags sa page. First is the Philippines that we know. The Philippines that we know is, kumbaga yun yung baril na gagamitin ko para manalo sa gerang kinalalagyan ko ngayon. Problema kasi sa mga tao ngayon, kapag may sarili kang idea, mali na yung iba. Gusto mo yung idea mo, idea din nila, kaya idea nila, idea ko rin. But yung totoo niyan, we can share different perspectives, different ideas naman all at the same time. So kung ayaw mong maniwala sa akin na maganda yung Pilipinas, kasi yung totoo naman talaga, kapag dito ka nakatira, pangit naman talaga yung Pilipinas. I mean, pangit siya in a way na may gulo. I mean, lahat naman ng bansa may gulo. Laging natatamaan ng kalamidad. You know, but kung ayaw mo maniwala sa akin na maganda yung Pilipinas, this is me saying to you na for me, ito yung Pilipinas na alam ko. The Philippines that we know. Kung gusto mong sumama sa amin, go. Pero sa ngayon, this is the Philippines that we know. Maaring iba yung paniniwala namin sa paniniwala mo ngayon, pero ngayon, the Philippines that we know. How do I show that to you? Last August 9, if I'm not mistaken, August 9, 2018, I launched the project 2 Wheels in One Country. Bali, isa tong bike expedition that's set to travel all over the Philippines. Ang idea is we'll visit 82 provinces in 82 months. So, ayoko siyang magmukhang simpleng parang namamasyal lang, kaya I allotted at least 1 month per province kasi sobrang dami mong pwedeng malaman sa Pilipinas. Sa bawat probinsya actually ng Pilipinas, para lang magstay doon for halimbawa 3 days, 2 nights, ganon. So the idea was to stay in one province for 1 month, get to know the people, get to know the tradition, get to know the tourist spots. Yon, bakit 82 provinces? 82 provinces. Sa totoo lang, 81 provinces lang talaga yung Philippines, pero I decided to include Metro Manila. Kaya 82 provinces siya. It started August 2000. I launched it. Nilaunch ko in August 2018. And then the first leg happened September 2018. So a month after kong nilaunch yung expedition, nag-go na kaagad yung first province, which is Kalinga province sa may Buskalan. So basically that's how I intend to promote the Philippines, no. Yun nga, travel to all the provinces in the Philippines. Bakit van yung nandyan sa picture? 2 Wheels in One Country lang naman yung title. Kasi ang hirap naman nung ibabike ko yung buong Pilipinas, di ba? So the goal was to, kunyari galing ako Manila, yung bike isasakay muna sa van syempre. Tapos pagdating dun sa probinsya, 1 month ako magbabike doon. Kasi may mga syempre may mga daanan na hindi naman kasya yung sasakyan, and the bike for me is the perfect vehicle for me to really, alam mo yun, mapasok talaga yung pusod kasulok-sulukan ng bawat probinsyang pupuntahan ko. Okay, next is, kung may baril na ako, syempre, ang kailangan ko naman is bala. What would be my bala in promoting the Philippines? Now, I have 2 other hashtags, beautiful places and beautiful people. If the Philippines that we know is the baril, beautiful places and beautiful people, are the two bullets I want to put in your heads. Doon muna tayo sa beautiful places. So every province na pupuntahan namin, may dalawang goal. First goal is to promote the tourist spots, and number two, to let people know about the people in those particular provinces. So every time we travel to provinces, we try um, to plan the itinerary. Mahalo yung syempre yung mga lugar na matagal lang nabibisita ng mga tao, yung mga kilala na, and then to discover new places na pwedeng i-develop to be bagong tourist spots. Why do we do that? One is because we want to promote the beauty of the Philippines, of course, and number two, we want to provide the locals with a source of income, kasi travel, especially before COVID-19, was really at its peak. Like ang daming nagta-travel, and it's a good source of income for locals living in those provinces, of course, without discounting the fact na kailangang syempre ingatan yung environment while we're enjoying its beauty. Next is beautiful people. Dalawa yung konsepto ng beautiful people. Number one, sa mga probinsyang pupuntahan namin, gusto kong ipakilala sa inyo yung tradisyon tsaka yung kultura ng mga taong nakatira doon. Number two, beautiful people kasi we also do volunteerism activities like charity events every province we will go to. Ang gusto ko kasing maibahagi sa inyo sa beautiful people ang Pilipinas na alam ko may mga magagandang tanawin at mabubuting tao. So aside from the beautiful beaches, aside from the towering mountains, ang mga Pilipino, we help each other out, and that makes the Philippines a beautiful place to live in. Kasi tayo mismo yung nagtutulungan. That's why we have the volunteerism activities. To give you a little idea dito sa mga volunteerism activities na to, let me share with you some of our previous projects way before COVID-19 happened. This one happened in Aurora. After naming mamasyal, every end of bawat trip, meron kaming sinisiguradong may iiwan kami dun sa community na binisita namin. Dito sa Aurora, nag-launch kami in partnership with BIFAR ng Seaweed Nursery tsaka Abalone Farm. Now, yung seaweeds tsaka yung abalone, sagot ng BIFAR. We partnered with BIFAR. And then, yung materials, sinagot namin like the buoys, mga ropes sa pagtatanim. And then, yung kita, as in 100%, yung project na yun, iniwan na namin sa kanila 100%. Sila na yung mga ngalaga, sila yung magpapalago. Tapos yung kikitain, doon na mapupunta sa community. So, that's the idea of the seaweed project in Aurora. This one happened in Zambales. Ito, nangyari to around May yata or June. After naming mamasyal sa Masinloc, after naming i-promote yung tourist spots sa Masinloc, this one is in partnership with Davis Paints. Magpapasokan kasi nun. So, kami na yung parang gumawa at saka sumagot dun sa pintura for the school. Mga simpleng activities lang naman. Something to leave behind. And then this one is in Bicol and Aurora again. One of our major sponsors kasi is Blue, yung anong tawag dito, parang basta masarap na tubig yan. Meron sa 7-Eleven. Yan, namimigay kami niyan every travel. Binibigay namin yan usually sa mga tour guides, sa mga drivers, sa mga vendors, kasi sila yung sila yung araw-araw pagod, sila yung laging pawis. Lalo na yung mga tour guides ng bundok, kasi syempre, 'di ba, pabalik sa isang araw nakakailang turista sila, so they really need something to quench their thirst. Ayan, Blue. Ito, isa to sa mga major provinces na napuntahan namin. This one is in Kalinga. This happened in September 2018. Nasira to ng super typhoon. Forgot the name ng super typhoon. Yan yung landslide kung nakikita nyo. Tapos kasama dun sa gumuho, kasama ng bundok ay yung mga water pipes nila. Kaya sobrang hirap umabot yung tubig doon sa community, sa may Buskalan. So yung main goal ng project na to is to help them repair what was damaged due to the typhoon, yung water pipes nga. And then aside from doing something for the community, kasi we're doing something with the community rin. So dito sa Kalinga, nagtanim kami ng palay doon sa, that's not Banawe Rice Terraces, pero Rice Terraces din yan doon sa Buskalan. So ayun nga, no, hindi naman to tungkol doon sa pamamasyal lang talaga. Gusto ko talaga pag pumupunta kami sa mga lugar, talagang mas deep yung experience ng mga travelers na kasama namin. And this one happened in Mountain Province. Ang hiniling naman nila sa amin dito is projector for the school. Tapos syempre groceries and supplies, the usual na mga pinapamigay tuwing charity events. Dito rin sa may Bulacan, na nakaabot na rin kami sa may Bulacan for the Dumagat tribe, mga grocery supplies din yung nilagay namin dito. And of course, tuwing may project kaming ganyan, may mga kasama din kaming halimbawa social workers na o kaya mga businessman, yung mga nagla-livelihood seminar tsaka nagse-seminar about yung mga rights natin. Tapos meron din kaming mga ginawa dati na dental and medical missions. This one was in partnership with the local government of Pampanga, and then RP Energy donated some books and other useful stuff for the school. Kasi ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na aside from yung mga bag, yung mga groceries, mga gano'n, nag-seminar din kami. Feeding programs, basta the usual charity event activities. Tapos ito, like yung kanina yung sa Aklatan sa Kostal, tama ba? Naka-partner din namin si Jollibee. Actually sa dinami-dami na nangyari sa Pilipinas, ito yung isa sa mga pinakanatandaan ng tao, yung Project Chicken Joy. Umakyat kami sa Mount Pinatubo, tapos a group of AYTA kids sumigaw sa akin on the way down, nung pauwi na kami, sumigaw sa akin, sabi, "Kuya, pagbalik mo, gusto namin ng Chicken Joy." So, me being the charity worker, I suppose, after I went to Mount Pinatubo, I tried to do something to grant their little wish. And pagbalik namin, dinala namin si Jollibee. And like thousands, hundreds of Chicken Joys for them to enjoy. But of course, aside from yung mga maliliit na charity works na ganyan, may mga nabigay din naman kami na I believe is for long term. Halimbawa yung seaweed tsaka yung abalone grow out farm sa Aurora, and then this one in Mount Pinatubo, nakapaglagay din kami ng solar panel doon sa makeshift elementary school nila doon sa foothills ng volcano. So kasi yung mga bata doon nag-aaral na lampara lang yung gamit, minsan nga wala pang ilaw, ng lampara talaga. So this I believe would be a really big help din sa kanila. So that's basically it. The Bisikleta Pilipinas is about beautiful places and beautiful people. Ngayon ang tinatanong sa akin madalas ng mga tao, ito sa mga, let me just turn on my camera. Ay, nakita ko lang si ano. I just want to share na isa sa mga nag-inspire sa akin gawin yung Bisikleta Pilipinas ay yung next speaker after me, si Bangkarunungan, si Sir Adrian. Dati kasi sumasama-sama lang ako sa kanya sa mga pagtuturo niya sa ako. Yan ang magsasabi ko anong ginagawa niya mamaya. Basta yun, sumasama-sama ako sa kanya dati. Tapos he inspired me to do my own passion project. So yun nga, yung tinatanong sa akin ng mga tao ngayon, what are you really trying to do? Kasi yung, sabi ko nga, yung nagta-travel kami, tapos every province na pinupuntahan namin, may binibigay kami sa community. They're asking me, are you really teaching them how to fish? The usual question sa mga charity events, are you really teaching them how to fish, or are you just giving them fish? For me kasi it's not about that. Charity works, hindi yung tungkol doon sa kung sino yung maglalas ng matagal, sino yung for short term lang. For me, volunteerism is, tatlong bagay lang yan. Someone has to start, someone has to lead, tsaka someone has to sustain. So more than the things na pinamimigay natin doon sa mga community, we're actually investing doon sa mga volunteers mismo. Kasi as long as the Philippines have volunteers willing to help each other out, our country will continue changing for the better. So more than the things we're giving out, we're actually here to inspire other people to sustain whatever we have started. Kasi as long as we have this sense of bayanihan, the Philippines will continue changing for the better. And that, I believe, is the only long-term charity work.
Okay. Thank you for that, Rafi. Yeah. Thank you for that, Rafi. I think this night is a night filled with with positivity and optimism, and we salute you for your for your endeavors, and doon sa pagkwento mo pa lang nakikita ko na yung potential room for collaboration. So later we're gonna talk about it, and with next speaker for ito naman we want to know further on Bangkarunungan. So may I call on Adrian Carl Cobardo to tell us deeper about his organization. Go ahead, Adrian.
Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Teacher Adrian Carl Cobardo ng Barreto National High School at ako po ang founder, ang nagsimula ng Project Bangkarunungan dito sa Olongapo at Zambales. So, napakalaking tsansa po para ipakilala ko muli ang aming proyekto na sinimulan ko noong November 25, 2011. So, ngayon pong taon ay sisimulan o nasa ikawalong taon na po kami ng paglalayag ng Bangkarunungan. So, ito ay isang personal lang na na simpleng pangarap ko nung bata na nagkaroon ng katuparan nung nasa Department of Education na ako. 1991, nasa kinder ako noon, nung pumutok yung Mount Pinatubo. Ayan po. 1991, pumutok yung Pinatubo. So, umalis kami ng San Marcelino dito sa Zambales at dinala ako ng parent ko sa isang island sa Masinloc, Zambales. So, alam ko na narating na ni Rafi yun. Napakalaki ng impact yon. So, siguro talagang kapag sa isang advocacy, napakahalaga nung personal na karanasan mo, mga personal na experiences mo, kung bakit mo gagawin yung isang bagay. So, kumbaga, sabi nga nila, kailangan may pinanghuhugutan ka. So, ito yung pinanghugutan ko. So, lumubog yung bahay namin sa Lahar. Yung picture na yan ay kinuha ko lang sa Google kasi wala pa namang camera noon. At tumira ako sa isang isla sa Masinloc, Zambales, which is San Salvador Island in Masinloc. So, doon, noong nag-aaral ako, nakita ko kung gaano kahirap ng mga bata, kung paanong hindi sila nabibigyan ng yung mga personal na na mga bagay na laruan, mga libro na nagpapaligaya sa kanila. Naalala ko din one time, dahil bagong salta ko dun sa island, ang tingin nila sa akin parang artista. So lahat ng bata, lahat ng mga kaklase ko, lumalapit sa akin at gusto nila nakikipagkwentuhan ako sa kanila o kaya sabay-sabay kaming nagbabasa. Nakita ng teacher ko yung siguro yung impact ko sa mga kaklase ko at ginawa nila every lunch ako ang inuutusan ng mga teacher ko na turuan yung mga classmate ko na hindi marunong magbasa that time. So, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, November 25, 2011. Bakit November 25? Kasi first time na kinilala ng Department of Education na magkaroon ng araw ng pagbasa. So that time, doon ko na-realize na siguro ito na yung pinakamagandang chance para simulan ko ang isang project na pangarap ko noong bata. Na yun nga, magpupunta sa mga isla para magturo sa mga bata. Kasi iba yung kaligayahan sa mga simpleng bagay lang sa isla, iba yung kaligayahan na ibibigay sa mga bata. So, paano nagsimula ang Project Bangkarunungan? Una, sa pangalan pa lang, bangka tsaka karunungan. favorite ko ring sumasakay ng bangka. Gusto kong nagpupunta sa mga iba't ibang noong nasa isla kami, gusto ko kung saan-saan ako nagpupunta kasama nung ng lolo ko, ng lola, ganyan. So naisip ko, maging symbol yung bangka na magdadala ng pag-asa sa mga isla at dalampasigan. So dahil nung panahong yon, wala pa naman akong malaking halaga para simulan yung proyekto. So nagpagawa muna ako ng isang bangka na para siyang kariton. So ito ay parang, kung naaalala niyo ang ating CNN hero na si Efren Peña Florida ng Cavite, so di ba meron siyang kariton classroom. So kinuha ko rin yung idea na yon. Dahil ang school na pinagtuturuan ko, which is sa Olongapo City nga, ay isa ring coastal area. So nakita ko, ito na yung pagkakataon para ipakita sa mga bata na dapat ma-appreciate nila na napakahalaga ng pagbabasa. So nandoon yung mission namin. So dapat maging isang enjoyable experience ang pagbabasa sa mga bata. So kaya ang ginawa ko, gumawa kami ng isang bangka, pinuno namin ng mga libro, pinuno namin ng mga laruan, at every Saturday, nagpupunta kami sa dalampasigan at lahat ng mga batang nandoon ay kinukwentuhan namin. So, nag-storytelling kami, kasama ko ang mga volunteers ko, ng mga estudyante ko rin. Sila yung mga SSG officers noon. So sila ang kasama kong nag-storytelling sa mga bata, nakikipaglaro kami sa kanila. Naging paraan yon para lalo naming yung advocacy namin na mahalin nila ang pagbabasa, doon namin nasimulan. So that time din, nung inilaunch ko yung Project Bangkarunungan, nakakatuwa na na-media kami agad sa ABS-CBN Bayan Mo Ipatrol Mo. So kaya naging mas madali para sa akin na lumawak, dumami yung nakakaalam sa proyekto dahil nga na-feature ako sa TV Patrol. At 6 months pa lang ng aming proyekto, na-feature kami sa isang programa sa ABS-CBN din, yung Ako Ang Simula. Kaya pinagkalooban kami ng isang bangka na demotor na. So ito yung bangka naman na to. So hindi na lang sa dalampasigan, binigyan kami ng pagkakataon para lumayo pa ang aming mga mapuntahan. So tuwing Sabado or depende kasi minsan kapag masama ang panahon, hindi kami nakakarating doon sa mga lugar dito sa Subic, Zambales. So dalawa ang mga community na pinupuntahan namin dito sa Subic. So dahil yan ang pinakamalapit na coastal area ng mga isla na malapit sa pinagtuturuan kong school. So every week, nagpupunta ako sa mga isla, sa mga dalampasigan, kasama ng aking mga volunteers. At doon, nagtuturo kami ng pagbabasa. So nung una, storytelling lang yung aming yung nagiging activity namin. Pero habang tumatagal, nakita ko na napapansin ko na maraming bata doon sa lugar ang hindi marunong talagang magbasa, which is the vital skill na dapat alam ng mga bata. Kahit na gaano kadaming napakagandang libro yung ibigay namin sa mga bata, kapag hindi sila marunong magbasa, ay parang baliwala rin. So, nagpatuloy na gano'n ang aming advocacy. So, nagpupunta kami doon, nagkakaroon kami ng mga art activities. Isa lang din talaga ang gusto naming maipamulat sa kanila, na ang experience sa pagbabasa ay enjoyable talaga. So hindi siya katulad dati na nung bata tayo, kapag pinabasa tayo ng magulang natin, parang parang parusa. So yun ang nagiging ng mga bata. So kaya ang gusto ng Bangkarunungan, maging isang napakasayang experience ang pagbabasa para sa mga bata, para lalo nilang ma-appreciate ito. Kanina, nabanggit ng Aklatan sa Kostal, isa rin kasi sa aming naging masugid na sponsor ay ang Share Your Spare Singapore. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, twice a year, nagpapadala sila ng mga toys, ng mga mga school supplies na ibinibigay namin sa mga communities na pinupuntahan namin. So dahil sa project na ito, so ayan, makikita natin. So maraming mga organization ang nakikiisa sa aming napakasimpleng programa. So ilan dito ay ang ang Adarna Publishing, kung saan nagbibigay sila ng mga storybooks na iniiwan namin sa mga bata. Isa pa 'yon sa aming advocacy, kailangan meron silang mga libro sa kanilang mga bahay. Kasi isa sa mga nakikita naming dahilan bakit hindi marunong magbasa ang mga bata natin, dahil wala silang mga libro sa bahay. Lalong-lalo na yung mga bata sa isla, sa napakalalayong dalampasigan. So napakahirap para sa kanila ang magkaroon ng mga libro. Kaya isa rin 'yon sa puso ng aming proyekto. Ang madalhan sila ng mga aklat na tawag dito, maaangkin na lang sa kanila. So nagpupunta kami doon kasama ng mga sponsors natin. Ayan. So gaya din kanina, so nakatutuwa, napakahalaga din kasi na meron tayong mga achievements na naipapakita sa tao para yung trust din nila sa atin ay hindi rin mawawala. So dalawang pagkakataon na nasama kami, hindi man nakaangat bilang national finalist, bilang national winner. Napakalaki ng achievement para sa akin ito bilang isang teacher na nakikilala yung aming programa. So, isa rin sa napakahalaga o sa isa sa pinaka gusto naming ma-appreciate ng mga bata ay yung pagmamahal nila sa wika natin na ang Filipino, na ngayon ay sineselebrate natin ang buwan ng wikang pambansa. Naging paraan din. Kaya kinilala ng Komisyon ng Wikang Filipino sa buong Pilipinas ang aming proyekto at kinilala ako bilang ulirang guro dahil sa programa ko, na dahil sa pag-storytelling namin na madalas ay mga kwentong pambata, mga alamat mula sa Pilipinas, ay naipaparating namin sa mga isla, sa mga dalampasigan, yung mga kwento ng mga Filipino writers natin. Kaya nabibigyan ng appreciation, napapahalagahan ng mga bata ang mga kultura, lalong-lalo na ang wika natin. So, masugid kong partner din, syempre, ang Olongapo City Council. Ayan. Isa rin sa napakaling achievement ko ay nung minsang dalawin kami ng aking ka-advocacy sa Cariton Classroom, si Kuya Efren. So, nagbigay din siya ng mga books. Binigyan niya ako ng mga modules kung paano nila pinapatakbo ang Cariton Classroom sa kanila. Ayan. At dahil sa siguro natutuwa ako dahil nakikilala talaga ang pagpupursige ko bilang isang simpleng guro na maipakita, hindi lamang sa mga bata kundi sa kapwa ko din mga teacher, na napakahalaga ng advocacy natin, napakahalaga ng pagiging isang teacher natin para sa paghulma ng mga kabataan. So lumabas na rin ang aming proyekto sa iba't ibang programa sa telebisyon. Ayan. Masugid ko ding kapartner kapag naiimbitahan sa mga storytelling program. Last time, kasama namin, naging part ako ni Kuya Ray Buffy ng The Storytelling Project, na isa rin sa mga tinitingala kong idolo sa larangan ng pagkukwento. Kasi nga napakahalaga. Isa lamang ako sa mga naniniwala talaga na napakahalaga ng mga kwentong pambata. Lalong-lalo na kapag sinishare natin ito sa mga musmos na kaisipan ng mga bata, dadalhin nila sa paglaki nila ang mga iyan. So, ayan, nakilala na din sa iba't ibang programa. At siyempre, isa sa pinakamalaking achievement ko, dahil nga ako ay isang guro sa isang public school dito sa Olongapo City. Mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, ako ay nagtuturo sa classroom, at tuwing weekend naman or tuwing walang pasok o mga holiday, dahil sa pagtungo ko sa mga isla, sa mga dalampasigan, napakaraking karangalan na kilalanin ka ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon, yung aking programa, dahil nakikita nila, katulad ng nasa larawan, isa siya sa mga naturuan ko talagang magbasa, na akala ng magulang niya ay habang buhay na siyang hindi makakabasa. Pero dahil sa araw-araw kong pagpunta sa batang yan, ay na-develop ang kanyang pagbabasa at syempre yun ang kinilala ng kagawaran ng edukasyon sa akin. Ayan. So naging bahagi na rin ako naging finalist na rin ako ng Many Faces of the Teacher. Ayan. At isa rin sa napakahalaga yung pagkilala ng Mang Inasal bilang Gawad Pilipinoy. At ang pinakahuli sa mga natatanging sigurong pagkilala sa akin dahil sa proyektong ito, dahil sa kitaan nila ng sobrang pagmamahal ko sa mga bata, ay noong 2017, nahirangin akong ulirang guro ng Luzon at second runner-up sa buong Pilipinas. So, ako din ay naiimbitahan. So, isa rin yun sa mga advocacy ko. Sabi ko nga, ma-inspire pa ang mga kapwa natin guro, hindi lamang ang mga guro, kundi ang mga kabataan. Kaya madalas ay naiimbitahan sa mga pananalita sa iba't ibang organisasyon. Nandyan ang Reading Association of the Philippines. Ayan. At syempre, kinilala din sa graduation ng College of Education ng UP. Ilan lamang yan sa mga hindi ko ito na ipinagmamalaki, kundi bahagi lamang na gusto kong maipakita na kapag ang isang advocacy ay passion mo talaga. Kasi madalas, minsan ang napapansin ko, parang nagiging obligasyon lang sa isang individual. Dahil nasimulan niya na yung programa, nasimulan niya yung project, parang nagiging obligasyon lang para sa kanya. Pero para sa akin, isa itong passion na habang buhay ko nang dadalhin at habang buhay ko nang dala-dala sa aking buhay. So, napakalaki ng tawag dito, ng epekto ng COVID. So, syempre dahil ang huli naming naging paglalayag ay January 2020 pa. Napakahirap dahil nga nung March nung dumating yung COVID, hindi na kami makapaglayag dahil syempre bawal ang kailangan may social distancing, which is, 'di ba? Ang ginagawa namin ay iniipon namin yung mga bata, nag-storytelling kami, at yung mga magulang na hindi marunong magbasa, nagiging part din ng programa namin. So, yun yung mga naging epekto. Pero etong COVID-19 din ang nagbigay din sa amin ng pagkakataon para mag-isip ng mga pwede pa naming gawin maliban sa mga ginagawa namin dati. So isa na dito, ang isa sa pinupuhunan namin ngayon, dahil noong hindi nga kami nakakapaglayag, nakakagawa ako ng mga kwentong pambata. At naikwento ko ito sa isa sa masugid kong partner, isa kong co-awardee sa Mang Inasal, si Coach Ruben. Sinabi niya na magkaroon kami ng collaboration ulit. Every year, kasama ko siya. So kung hindi ako nagkakamali, naka-4 na paglalayag na kami kasama si Coach Ruben. Nagtuturo siya ng basketball naman sa mga bata. So kapag kasama ko siya, nagtuturo siya ng basketball sa mga bata. At syempre, alam naman natin, lalo na yung mga kabataan, yung mga kalalakihang mga bata, isa yan sa mga favorite nila. So, magkakaroon kami ng ikwentuhan sa isla. So, nagsimula na. So, isa siya sa naging sponsor ng mga gagamitin namin para sa e-classroom na nagamit ko ngayon din. Tapos, humanap kami ng teacher mula sa Subic na pwedeng maging partner ko dahil nga yung mga kwentong pambata na nagawa ko ay gagawan ko ng virtual storytelling at yun ang panonoorin ng mga bata. Bibigyan namin ng laptop, bibigyan namin ng projector, ng internet connection. Yung teacher na partner namin doon sa isla at magkakaroon kami ng virtual kwentuhan ng e-storytelling para kahit na hindi kami nakakapunta doon sa lugar na yon ay nakukwentuhan ko pa rin sila, nakakapaglaro pa rin kami kahit virtually pa rin. So ngayong COVID din, nagpapasalamat ako, nagpadala ulit ang Share Your Spare Singapore ng mga toys. Pinakita kanina ni Ma'am sa Aklatan sa Kostal, di ba? So nagpapadala sila ng mga toys, ng mga tawag dito, mga school supplies na ibibigay namin bago magpasukan ngayong darating na October. So may panahon pa kami para magpunta dun sa mga isla para magbigay kahit hindi na nila, dahil homeschooling sila ngayon, so magagamit pa rin nila sa kanilang mga bahay. At syempre kasama pa rin yung pag-iipon namin ng mga libro na ibibigay namin sa mga bata. So kanina nabanggit ni Rafi, oo, naging ilang beses din kaming nag-collaborate niyan, naging sponsor namin siya. Kasama niya yung kanyang mga kapatid, yung kanyang mga pinsan, naging bahagi siya ng aming paglalayag. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, sakto rin noon na na-feature kami sa real time ng GMA News TV nung nakasama ko siya. So, ito po ang mga ilan sa mga ginagawa ngayon ng Bangkarunungan. So, habang may pandemya pa, so nag-iipon kami ng mga sponsors. At isa pa nga sa mga nakikita naming collaboration ni Coach Ruben ay yung mga proceeds, kasi nagkakaroon siya ng live na coaching ng basketball, ng exercise. So yung mga proceeds na mga kuha mula sa mga donations ay gagamitin ng Project Bangkarunungan para ibigay, para bilhan kung ng tablet or ng cellphone yung mga deserving students ng isla para magamit nila sa kanilang pag-aaral. So yun lamang po. Ito po ang Project Bangkarunungan mula po sa Olongapo at Zambales. So maraming salamat po.
Adrian, maraming salamat sa sa sharing, and grabe itong gabing ito talagang I mean, very inspiring to see a lot of making a difference, particularly in the lives of of a lot of Filipino people. And na-excite na ako mamaya sa open forum natin, and I assure you, Adrian, baka marami pang collaboration na makuha natin after this forum. So we go on to our last speaker, at lahat tayo ay pupunta ng Palawan to discuss about Puerto Princesa Oil. May call on Von Yu Magbanwa. Hello, Von. Good evening.
Hello, hi.
Okay, Von. Yeah. Yes, loud and clear.
All right. So na-notice nyo may hawak ako ngayon na fan. Here's the problem right now. Saktong nag-brownout dito sa amin. So medyo kinakabahan ako. So hopefully matawid ako ng data ko all throughout our talk. So maliban sa actually we can use this as visual aids nga eh. So maliban sa literal na mainit ngayon dito sa where I am right now, but ang hangin, it doesn't turn off the flame eh. It doesn't yung parang it stops the flame. Actually, it fans the flame to grow stronger, and very inspiring talaga po yung lahat ng mga share ng mga previous mga speakers po natin, na it really gives me joy na it's a reminder that we are not alone in what we are doing right now. So once again, hi, I'm Bon Cyrene Magbanwa. I'm part of JCI. I am currently the Executive Vice President of Puerto Princesa Oil, one of the chapters of JCI Junior Chambers International. So from the name itself, it's a international organization. It started noong 1944, way back 1944, and it came to the Philippines in 1947. So papatayin ko na pala yung baka medyo maingay na yung mga tao yung electric fan. So yung small electric fan ko, and grabe, so super inspiring. I'm really on fire right now. Kanina nag-expire na yung kaba ko. Simula kanina, kinakabahan ako na, oh no, ako na ba? Oh no, may isa pang speaker. And that's the pressure of the last person who will be speaking eh. But now, let me share to you a little bit of, nakikita po ba yung yung parang slideshow ko?
Yes, Von, it's clear. Yep.
Hello? Nakikita po?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Akala ko naubos na yung data ko. Okay. Going back. So let me introduce a little bit of all the projects. One thing that I find so similar with everyone is the common denominator of all the organizations, especially those who were speaking kanina, is when you're really part of an organization like this, a non-profit organization, it's really not really about us. It's really about the people. How can we help the people? How can we contribute? So makikita natin similarity. For example, we did recently lang na when the COVID season came in, we did the face shield project and we did our face shields, and we helped a bunch of medical professionals, frontliners. We provided yung health face shield. So we made the face shield distributed to our frontliners. So ito po yan. It's really the same with everyone. We also did we're in the province of Palawan. So there are certain areas that doesn't have water. So we made a project na donate a water container drive. So we partner with locals, local businesses, and we ask, do you have extra containers? So we can put water there and distribute. And much better, what if kung ibigay nyo sa amin siya na may laman na? So kita nyo po yan, we delivered to different areas of Palawan. We also have what we call Project Assemble. Project Assemble is it's an umbrella project with a bunch of projects in. So it's what we do here is we go to schools. It's going back to school project. So one of those projects actually this is an international project. Every chapter does this every year. So all across the Philippines, not just in the Philippines, but across the world. So we give bags, school supplies to students, and this is nothing new. Everyone is doing it, I believe. But yun nga, we're partnering with government entities, mga personnel in uniform. One thing that I forgot to share a little bit of our organization is this: the mission, the vision, and the values. Well, what we do is kind of similar. Pero I think what makes each and every organization different is this: our focus. So yung focus, some organization are focused on students, some are focused on the youth, some are focused on providing books, yung a specific need of a community or a place. So the vision of our organization, the mission of our organization is to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. And the vision would be to be the leading global network of young active citizens. The target of this organization are young professionals mainly, but it's open to everyone. But our target is young professionals. Why? Because one, they kind of have the financial freedom to sustain themselves and to help the organization financially, and as well as they kind of have the time freedom to put in their time, give it to the community people, and give it to the organization to help other people. One of the core values of the organization, JCI values, basahin ko lang po yung pinaka-first na line, and I really, really love this. Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. So it's deeply rooted in faith in God. So our guiding values would be the word of the Lord, and isa sa mga parang war cry of the organization would be to faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. Having faith in God, it brings purpose, and we align everything by the design of the Lord, how to operate, and I'll later explain that. The things we have assessed the organization, what is happening right now, and there are certain principles that God has reminded us in the organization itself. So we have projects, going back to my slides, the presentation. We partner with local farmers to help them as well. So yun nga po, katulad ng share po ng is we want to help the locals. Or how can we help them, especially especially farmers or local businesses or self-employed people. So we partner with an organization. Yung project po nila is Go Palengke. The vision and the mission for that is to, yes, help local farmers and deliver their crops to the houses or their customers, so they don't have to travel to the main city kasi marami po tayong mga communities here in Palawan. So Puerto Princesa is the main city, but we have other municipalities outside of the main city. So how can we help them? We bring their products, so we buy it from them, or we have an agreement na okay, we'll sell it first and we'll send you the whatever we earn from that. We have other projects like this na Amustaran. So it's one of our income generating projects. Now we involve the community in health and wellness. So we're targeting the young professionals, the youth, but we want to welcome everyone, all ages nga po. One, if you look at this is our medals. So this was made from recyclable, made from recyclable materials, made by one of our artists, that is Sir JC Enon, and is technically considered a national artist in a way. He was awarded in the US for eco something. I just don't know. Forgive me, JC. I forgot the award and the organization who awarded this. But this was made from cans po, which is amazing. So let's see if this can zoom in. So kita nyo, ano siya, cans. Amazing. So this is another income generate. I think not, but this is a partner with the city, Subaran. So Subarao is a annual festival in Palawan, which is we promote biodiversity. So Palawan is one of the tourist destination in the world, one of the best islands in the world, if not the best. And so the lifeblood of the province would be tourism. So how can we, if the nature is helping us, we need to help nature as well. So this is the programs of the city, and we were privileged to be involved in this annual festival. We also have, mukhang bumalik na yata ang internet. I'm not sure. Ang internet, kuryente. But going forward, we have also Bike Hero, and medyo it's a biking marathon all across the province. So amazing. This is an amazing activity for bicycle. It's really timely because everyone is going into biking. So everyone is appreciating the value of health right now. So, and there is a bunch of activities that the organization are doing, but yun nga po, as much as possible, I just want to highlight the ones that I want to highlight. So lastly, this is what we partnered with Red Cross and the city. This is called Junior Rescue, where we train the kids to be prepared for disaster. How can you be ready in case of this and that? So you see kids here na nakahiga sila. Okay pa, how do you carry? How do you assist someone who is injured? What if there's sunog or fire nga? How do you use the hose? And dito, kita niyo yung bata, parang sinasakal siya. Tahimik na lang siya. Humihinga pa naman po to, hopefully. I know. Yes, he is still breathing. So how do you secure a patient na who has injuries sa head, sa body? So we partner with professionals who can teach this kinds of things. So more than ever, I believe that this is the best time to teach our youth and empower them, equip them for real life, which goes back to yun nga po. Let me just close this. Assessing our what's really happening in the world right now. So we gathered, we talked about this, and this is the principles that we realized, and we we're talking about advocacy here, and yun nga, imploring people. And one of the principles that we realize is life is finite. Life is not infinite. We will die eventually. We only have a set of amount of time. We will not live forever, right? So by statistics or by studies, our average lifespan would be 70. But there are a lot of factors to put into consideration. And that is diseases, viruses, the COVID is there, accidents, and negligence and malpractice of how we handle the life that we are given with. So time is limited. We only have a set of amount of time in a day, regardless of your walk of life, regardless of your status, regardless of your gender, etc. There is no discrimination. We only have 24 hours in a day. So the question is, how do we manage those 24 hours? So if that 8 hours is for sleeping and 8 hours if you're a student that's dedicated in school, if you're an employee that's dedicated in work, we still have a remaining 8 plus 8 is 16 there minus 24. We all still have a remaining 8 hours. The question is, what do we do with that 8 hours? And that's what we call recreational time. So for most people, and we are all victim of this, we procrastinate. We procrastinate, we waste that time. So what we want to encourage our members and everyone who is listening is, we owe it to the generation before us, the generation that our grandparents and those people before us, to secure and continue the legacy that they have given us. Fortify the foundation that they've made and build the structure. Now is more than ever is the best time to build the structure. So could you imagine the generation, the World War generation, the World War II generation, they sacrificed their life for us to experience what we have right now. The peace that we are experiencing right now, it's because of their sacrifices. A bunch of them, they were enlisted age 18, 19, 20. They sacrificed their youth for our freedom, for what we are experiencing right now. So oftentimes we take that for granted. Oftentimes we take for granted that 8 hours. So the question is, so we owe it to them to protect the legacy, secure the structure, fortify the foundation, and become a better version of ourselves. And it's our responsibility, the current generation, to pave the way for the next generation and train them to be better than the ones before. So how do we invest? It's not just monetary stuff. It's not just about money, but money is the tool. Money is an enabler. But what if we don't have finances? This is my current financial standing right now. What we can do is you can invest your time. You can invest your God-given talents and skills to the next generation. What are you gifted? What are you skilled right now? So it's a reminder for our organization. What do we have right now? Okay, you're good in Photoshop. Okay, train people to be good in Photoshop or but first, be a better version of yourself. Improve the skills that you were given and talents. So be world-class and share it to those under your sphere of influence. Another principle that we were reminded going to the thinking process of what's happening right now and what we can do in the communities and what's the generation right now. We are reminded of this. The most richest place in the world, the place with the most resources is not the oil fields, it's not diamond mines, the gold mines, or whatever mines in that matter. But here's a tragic thought, and we were really devastated when we were reminded of this. The most richest place in the world, the place with so many resources, would be the graveyard. It's so tragic. Mga pangarap na hindi natupad, inventions that weren't invented, songs that should have been written, songs that should have been done, future presidents, future CEOs. Why? Here's my theory. This is something personal. One would be they listen to the lies of those around them. They believe, along the journey, they gave up. Why they believe in the lies na, wala kang kwenta, bobo ka, wala kang mararating, you're nothing. They believe along the journey. And second, here's my second journey. No one provided them with the platform to soar higher. They had the capacity to fly, but they could have soared higher. And that's our responsibility. Our responsibility is to provide the platforms for them to soar higher. So the two greatest moments in our life would be, one, the moment we were born, and two, the moment we realize why we were born. And a lot of the speakers has their answer for this. So my encouragement for everyone is you really have to discover why you were born. A lot of people die. They go to the graveyard, the cemetery, not knowing their purpose. Money won't give you the reason. It would go you some distance, but you will be dissatisfied. Why? Because there's a portion of ourselves that is screaming to give our life on something or dedicate our life. So life is very limited. So this is the advocacy of what we want to advocate, and we want to implore everyone. Let's make the best of that is given to us, and in the process glorify God, the designer, the creator, the person who gave us these talents that we have, the things that we know, and provided us with all the resources. And in the process, other than glorifying God, is adding value to people. And that's really what excites me right now. What excites me with the other organization, because we have our own focus. So there's so many things. So I'm really excited for collaboration. I'm really excited on contributing on those focuses. So one last thing. This is one of the and it's very timely right now. One of the war cries of our organization is this: so simple, so basic. And what's funny about life is the basic things and the most simple of things is yun yung actually yung mga big deal. 2 words: be better. It's as simple as that. Be better. Are you better than you were yesterday? If you aren't, there's something wrong with how you manage your time. Time is like barya. Who's spending that barya right now? Is that you or someone else or something else? That's a question that we really need to process. So let's be a better version of ourselves. Yun nga po, going back to purpose, please look for people who can help you discover your purpose. Because time is limited. Might as well live life adding value to someone. And I'm really excited for the day that you will, 5 years or 10 years from now, someone would tap you on the back. You don't know who that person is. You forgot that person. And he would say, you know what? I know you. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you said something that really inspired me to be a better version of ourselves. And I believe that's the right thing to do. The best thing to do is to empower the current generation to be better than the ones before. At yun rin po yung pamana nila to the next generation. So each and every generation gets better, 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 and better. More than ever, who is the solution to the problems of our country right now? That's you. That's us. So if we do our part, I believe 5 or 10 years from now, we will be the top country, not in Asia, not just in Asia, but in the world. If we help each other and we have the right mindset, not just the right mindset, but the right heart. And that is a heart for the current generation and the next generation. That's all. Thank you.
Von, thank you so much for that very inspiring message. Well, wow. This is a night of, I don't know, the stars aligned. And I think all the energy, all of these good vibes are all coming in for us. And I assure you, collaboration is really not that far. So we're all inviting all of the speakers to turn on their cameras. So we start our open forum. So I think all of us being leaders are resilient enough, and then we all have our secrets on how to be tough in good times and even in bad. But I think the best question that I think we got a question from our viewer is, how do you distress? If there are times that everything's really falling down and not according to plan, how do you distress and really make yourself sane? Let's start with Von. Hello, Von. Well, I think he's trying to shift. We're gonna get back. Yeah, hello. Okay. So how
Okay
do you
na, okay na.
distress, Von? Yep, okay.
Yes. Well, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what are your stressors? What
Mm-hmm.
causes you to feel that way? You have to identify that. And for you to not experience stress, but actually stress is part of the process. Friction is part of the process. And mind you, stress are good. Depending on how you view things. It's really a matter of perspective. Friction is good. Why? Friction causes fire. So, but yun nga, how do you distress? Identify that stressors, that those things or those people, and for most cases, that is people. People who don't understand what you are doing. So, one other thing that you can do would be, other than identifying, is you have to thank you for asking, by the way, whoever you are. You have to set a day, what we call a Sabbath day, to rest. Dedicate a day for yourself to not think about work. Don't think about anything. There was I forgot who said this, but when you're at work, don't think about work. But when you're not at work, don't think about work. It's a matter of that. The problem is we bring work at home. That's why we get stressed. So, and the consequence would be, you're not focused with your family, and it should have been dedicated to those people that you are with right now. So dedicate a day, at least a day of the week, and spend it with people that uplifts your being. So that's two things that person can do, or everyone can do.
Thank you, Von. Let's hear from Adrian. How do you, with all of the things in Bangkarunungan, how do you distress?
Siguro po una, syempre dahil nga po teacher ako from Monday to Friday, tapos pag Saturday at Sunday nagpupunta kami sa isla. Siguro yun din, nagkakaroon din ako ng time minsan bonding kasama ng family. Ayan, kasi isa sa pinaka-importante naman para sa sarili, yung pamilya, ganyan. So lumalabas lang, nakikipagkwentuhan sa mga pamangkin, ganyan. So, yun lang mga simple. Natutulog maghapon sa bahay kapag talagang gusto mong magpahinga. Wala naman sigurong masama doon kasi you're giving your best lagi. Panahon din naman para bigyan mo rin yung sarili mo ng time. So, yun lang, sir.
Thanks, Adrian. Rafi, sa Bisikleta Pilipinas ba? Well, of course, traveling is pero there are moments na you feel really stressed. So, how do you distress?
Well, dun sa mga, narinig niyo ako, sir? Okay.
Yes, clear. Yep.
Dun sa mga moments na busit na ako sa buhay. Siguro pag na-stress kayo, you go to your friends, to your passionate friends. You watch videos like this kasi yung mga passionate people, they release so much energy that you guys cannot say no to. Kapag passionate yung taong nagsasalita, you just can't say no to the energy that she's giving to you. So kapag nawawalan ka ng inspirasyon, kapag nawawalan ka ng gana sa mga ginagawa mo sa buhay, watch videos like this. Punta kayo kay Sir Ben o kaya sa runcationPH, gano'n, sa Bisikleta Pilipinas, sa lahat na nag-talk kanina, sa mga friends yung may passion projects. You just have to ignite the fire. Reignite the fire every time nawawala.
Thank you, Rafi. We'll do that. And I think we will all be Facebook friends after this. Okay, Paula, on the end naman ng teatro. So, I mean, like, this is like really a display of ano to, emotions, talents. Siyempre, yung pasensya, minsan may hangganan. I mean, like, let us know kung paano ka anong ginagawa mo to distress.
On my part po, sa organization namin, ang ginagawa namin kapag stressed out na talaga kami, we pause. I pause, and then bumabalik ako dun sa pinaka-reason kung bakit ginagawa ko to in the first place. Kasi dun naman magsisimula talaga eh. If you're passionate about something, magsisimula ka dun sa yung reason mo kung bakit mo ginagawa to, bakit mo gustong ipagpatuloy to. And then kapag yung bumabalik na ako sa parang realidad, doon na kinakausap ko na yung mga taong involved sa project, and then even my closest friends, sinashare ko sa kanila, sinasabi ko yung innermost thoughts ko, and then doon, nababawasan na yung stress, and then yun, laban ulit, go ulit po. Ganon.
Yeah, thank you, Paula. How about you, Sol, sa Aklatan sa Kostal? So, how do you distress?
Basically kasi yung Aklatan, yun yung way namin of distressing as a family kasi it's very laid back. It's a farmhouse, you have the mountains, you have the rice fields, and then yung kids kasi doon mabababaw lang kasi yung ano nila eh, yung madali lang silang pasayahin. I mean, the expectation hindi ganun kataas. So I think for us as a family, the library itself hindi siya stressor. There are other things, probably work or other responsibilities. So yung library, kaya din siya hindi siya, until now we still haven't registered it yet sa SEC or as a non-profit kasi nga we don't want pressure. We just want it as just part of our life na parang walang reporting duties or something. It's more on pag nakaisip kami ng anything or something, someone wants to collaborate with us, doon lang kami doon kami talaga parang we strive hard or we set plans. Pero again, yun nga lang, andun yung library, meron namang tao doon na who help with us, who help then with other responsibilities sa farm. So, walang masyadong stress pagdating sa Aklatan. Except lang pag during the activities, syempre, the kids, mga pasaway, the normal na mga actions ng bata. Pero that's something na afterwards, nawawala na rin naman eh.
Thank you, Sol. JD, about you on the kindness team? Parang yung kindness mo tuloy-tuloy or there are points na, alam mo yun, you need to step back and distress?
Actually, may 4 akong bagay na ginagawa eh. Yung 4 na bagay na yun, depende yun sa stress level na meron ako. Yung yung mga mild stress lang, actually ginagawa ko niyan. Actually, I am an adventurous person. I am an outside person. So basically, ang ginagawa ko niyan, pag level 1 pa lang yung stress ko, ang ginagawa ko, I go outside. Even though pandemic, I make time na siguro I have my friends kasi naglalaro ng airsoft eh. So naglalaro kami ng airsoft out of hindi naman siya contact sports, yan, babarilan lang naman kayo diyan, and distance naman yan na distance. And pag hindi ko talaga kaya yung isa naman na physical outdoor ko, especially pag early morning, yung nag-workout ako, nag-jogging ako. Kaso dito sa Naga, since pumutok yung number of cases ng COVID, nawala na siya. So ang ginawa ko na lang out of it, dito lang sa bahay at babasa ako ng mga libro. So pag medyo mataas-taas yung stress level ko, ang ginagawa ko niya part din ako kasi ng hiking team here in Naga City. So ang ginagawa ko niyan, pag may hiking kami with Sir Jodo sa Kadlagan, is lumalabas kami at umakit kami ng Isarog. So for me, it's part of my reconnecting myself to the nature. Para pag narinig mo kasi yung sound of ng mga falls, yung mga ibon, you can rejuvenate yourself out of it eh. Kasi parang you are connected with the nature. So mga 2 araw yan, 1 araw na hike and camp. So yung ginagawa ko pa isa. Then basically pag medyo spiritual yung battle ko parang nawawalan ako ng self-confidence out of it. May ganun kasing stress Parang you always think na tama ba 'tong ginagawa ko? May patutunguhan pa ba to? Parang ano pa ba ang next chapter ko? Actually, ginagawa ko dito, I open my Bible And I open my Bible, I ask God, and I pray, God, ano bang plan mo sa buhay ko? I was asking him, what's the purpose of my life in this kind of pandemic because of time uncertainties? Sobrang na-encourage lang ako ng mga nababasa ko sa Bible, especially yung binabasa ko lately, kasi I'm undergoing such typical anxieties right now. Binasa ko yung nasa Psalms 9, 9 to 10, nasabi dito, the name of the God is my fortified tower and no one can harm me on that. So yun yung nag-encourage sa akin, sabi ko to go further. So sabi ko ito yung laban na to, I'm not giving up. 'Di ba sir, nabasa ko pa yung post ko. Giving up is not an option. Let's go push forward and be positive in our life. So tapos after nun makakam na yung isip ko, spiritually maging okay na ako. Then I talk to my mentor. Actually kausap ko, every time pag struggle talaga ako, kausap ko yung spiritual mentor ko, sa minister namin sa simbahan, sa church namin, sa ICOC, Camarines Sur. So usually, I talk to him. Tama yung sinabi ni Von, you need to talk with some people which is very passionate and he will re-equip you. He will refuel you to go and focus you and put back you on your track and your goal. So napakalaking encouragement yun. And especially, hindi naman mangyayari yun kung wala si God So, yun yung mga ginagawa ko para ma-distress din. Salamat po.
Yeah, JD, thank you. How about you, Bugs, in the organization, how do you distress?
Well, you've seen it. You join us every Saturday. It's a breakfast meeting. You've heard my sharing, Ben, di ba? Kasi sa Saturday breakfast, I invite everyone dito. Pag na-stress ka, punta ka lang. Kasi matatawa ka lang sa problema mo. Kasi yung mga kasama namin, mas malalim yung problema nila. And yeah, like Mr. Panaligan earlier said that spiritual yung battle natin So when everybody, especially sa amin sa business and professional, na hindi lang perang pinag-uusapan, we go there every Saturday. It's only 1 hour. We hear the sharings of other people and then yung problema nila, maliit lang pala. Yung rather maliit lang pinoproblema ko compared sa kanila. And then, the BCBP is my source of fuel. Pag naubusan yung tangke ko, I go to my general assemblies. We worship together. Sana this year, Ben, Davao kami. We will have a national convention in Davao. Every national convention, we gather 6,000 people. We pray together. Parang may earthquake. Imagine. So, BCBP is our gas station.
Ano bang hinahanap niya?
Maubusan kami ng fuel sa tangke, we go back to BCBP. BCBP is not stress. Our work is our stress. When we help people, we let out of our stress. So, hindi naman siguro tumutulong ng tao pag nasa-stress ka. I think you should stop helping other people kung nasa-stress ka. So, again, that's why sa BCBP, yung Saturday breakfast namin is talagang it's unique to other organizations kasi every Saturday, we refuel, we hug each other, magkape. We talk over anything on coffee. We don't talk about our work, but we talk about God, we talk about our family. So yun. So again, if you're stressed, join us every Saturday. Sigurado kami mawawala yung stress nyo. So that's it, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Bugs. Yeah, we'll try to join to really relieve Tama yung sinabi mo. I think when you actually hear other people and say their problems, baka nga mas maliit pa yung problema mo. Thank you for that sharing, Bugs. And lastly, how about Chris, like on your end, how do you distress?
I would like to resonate now with one of our fellow advocates kanina in identifying ano ba yung stressor mo. Kasi for me, ang stressor ko talaga is if you lead an organization kasi or if you're managing, example, a business, you tend to I tend to set my standards really high. And whenever I don't meet that standards, mas nasa-stress ako kasi, oh my God, bakit hindi nangyari? It didn't come, hindi siya nasunod yung plano, etc., etc. And then, what I usually do is that I take a time off. Talagang pause muna as much as possible. Give time to yourself, self-care. And for me, I would love to go outdoors, pero dahil COVID nga, di ba? Stay at home muna, quarantine. Siguro more on more on watching light movies. Yung kumbaga yung mga movies na you don't really have to think so much about it. Yung comedies, rom-com, just to lighten up your mood. Kasi you don't want to decide on crucial matters when you're stressed. Kasi you might regret it later talaga. I don't want to talk about business whenever I'm stressed or talk about politics whenever I'm stressed. Kasi this is something na we might we might regret later kasi we're at the height of our emotions. So, whenever we're stressed or talagang dapat conscious tayo na are we approaching sa stage na nafe-feel na natin na there's a boiling anger or boiling, kumbaga raising our voices higher initially. So I think it's better for ourselves and for everyone around us to take a pause na lang muna and talk about other things, no? Kumbaga 5-minute break, magpahangin ka muna sa labas, magpa-massage ka muna, mag-sauna ka muna, mag-food trip ka, magpa-deliver ka ng food panda or grab food, treat yourself. Kasi we cannot give if we don't have something, no? We don't have peace of mind. We cannot give back to our community if tayo mismo nangangailangan din.
Thank you for that, Chris. And I truly believe in that. Yeah. Because we are all on the forefront, and the moment that we don't really exude that aura, that would actually make a difference. So talagang kailangan, I would agree, is really self-care. So grabe, I mean, like, this conversation really, yes, go Rafi, go.
Nakalimutan kong sabihin kanina. Alam niyo guys, if you want to distress, the easiest way is mag-inom kayo. The best.
Actually, Rafi was waiting for you to say that.
Alam mo, pag galit ka, pag balungkot ka, mag-inom ka, tapos ilabas mo yung galit mo. There's no other way to distress than to release stress. MP Light. I suggest MP Light, the best. Tapos sundan mo ng Red Horse. Perfect.
Okay. So guys, I think this conversation really takes very passionate people. So, but of course, we have a start, we have an end. We would like to actually get some keywords down from our viewers, and guys, this is actually an avenue for collaboration. You get naman our speakers. I mean, they all gave their organizations and their social media. Please, let's keep in touch with them, and at the same time, if you're interested to collaborate, please feel free. I mean, the digital space is so much to conquer. So I mean, let's work on that. So we're gonna get like our last message. Let's start with Chris on for all of our viewers tonight. So parting words.
Ako ba first? Sorry.
Yes, ikaw. Yeah, ikaw.
Okay. Siguro, ang dami pang pwedeng gawin, to be honest. There are lots of things that we really have to do and our country needs us to do. Kasi ako, I truly believe ever since back in the school pa, no, hindi kaya ng gobyerno lahat. It needs active citizens also. So, it's a relationship, no, between our leaders in the government and us as citizens. So, kahit na maayos yung ating gobyerno in our barangay, in our city or national level, if tayo mismo we're not doing our part as active citizens, then wala pa rin patutunguhan, no? So, example, in education, we still have lots of things to do, especially in public schools natin, nagmo-modular, kailangan ng rooms, etc., etc. Dami pong problema. And we have example, events industry, yung mga musicians natin, hosts, MCs, etc. Walang trabaho kasi walang live events. Dami po pong mga kailangan nating punan sa lipunan because of the pandemic. And kahit even though before the pandemic, marami pang mga spaces for advocacies to really flourish. So if you are, ang audience natin, if you're looking for an advocacy, just look around you, then doon ka magsimula. Ano ba yung needed sa locality mo? And just to close, this is one thing talaga na I always bring with me whenever I decide on doing something or starting something or going somewhere. It's to always choose where we are more needed. So kung saan tayo pinakakailangan, doon tayo magbigay. Kasi doon tayo mas makakabigay talaga ng impact with our skills, not necessarily money, but with what we have as a person and as a leader in our own ways.
Thank you very much, Chris. Bugs, how about you?
Sige. Last words, mental wellness and spiritual wellness. So to all of the guys out there, especially on the business sector and the professionals, if you feel, mentally and spiritually stressed, we invite you to join our Saturday breakfast. We believe that you'll find the spiritual nourishment. Kasi I think COVID will stay. And then there will be different pandemics that will happen the next 100 years. Problems will be here. But personally, I believe that God gave us this problem. And because God knows that we could, overcome this. Wala pa siyang binigay na problema sa atin in the history of mankind that we have never overcame. Wala pa. So that's why again, we need each other. We need to help each other. But kung kulang yung humanity, there's still God. We should not forget to pray to Him. Not only when we're sad, even we're happy. Kung may na-achieve tayo, may nabigay siya sa atin. Hindi lang yung we go to Him pag may kailangan tayo. That's why we in BCBP, we do it on a regular basis. Gaya ng paligo. Isipin mo na lang kung hindi ka maliligo araw-araw. Ganon din sa pag-pray. So that's my last words, Ben. So let's pray every day and pray for each one. Thank you and good evening.
Bugs, maraming salamat. JD?
Alright, first of all, thank you so much. Actually, kanina tumambay ako dun sa sa comment section ng live. I was just very encouraged that, some of the people are reacting and some of the people are responding to our cause. May nakita nga ako dun paano ba sisimulan yung advocacy. So, I just want to answer it in this time na sabi ko, how we can start this kind of advocacy. Sometimes you need, sabi nga ni Krisha, you need to look kung ano yung kailangan eh. So, and kung yung kailangan ba yon or kung yung need na yon ng community ay may magagawa ka, na sa tingin mo strength mo at alam mong may magagawa ka, take a risk, take the first step to do it. Kasi walang mangyayari kung gusto mo lang eh. Sometimes we have the thoughts, we have the passion, we have that compassion, but if we don't have an action, a positive action out of it, those dreams is just dreams. So, kailangan mo lang kasing gumawa ng first step out of it. And second, tanungin mo sarili mo kung saan ka ba magaling. Ano ba yung talent mo? Ano ba yung kaya mong gawin for the community? So ako, sabihin ko, ang talent ko is PR person. I am a strategic and critical person. So I use it for me to plan, to analyze, and strategize anong klaseng program ang gagawin ko. So you need to assess yourself eh. And at the same time, minsan naman, and after you do that, frustration will happen. So even though you are frustrated kasi meron kang hindi nagagawa eh, you don't achieve something out of your passion, out of your effort, out of your lahat-lahat ng ginagawa for that, mapofrustrate ka. Pero isipin mo, that is avenue for you to discipline yourself. And you must know how to motivate yourself. And tumingin ka kung sino yung beneficiary nito. Ako minsan tinitingnan ko yung community eh. Yung mga tao na tulungan ko eh. Yung mga pictures ng mga nanay, mga mahihirap, na mga bata na palaboy sa lansangan, yung mga ngiti nila kapag binibigyan ko na silang something na wala naman ako dapat eh, na hindi ko naman talaga dapat gagawin eh. Pero yung makita mo yung mga ngiti nila, kahit hindi sila magsabing thank you, sobrang encouragement sa'yo yon para mag-push forward. And the last, find a good team to support you on this battle. Sometimes mahirap kasing simulan kasi isa lang ako eh. Iisa lang ako. Parang part lang ako ng tingting eh. Pero what if you made an impact out of it? You can ripple the water in the stream, and you can make something who can change the culture, who can change the community, who can innovate and make an impact for your local community. So yung mga young leaders dyan, huwag kayong mawawala ng pag-asa na kaya mo. Sabi nga niya ni John Lask, never doubt yourself because you can do something. Because you just need to believe in yourself. So yun lamang. So yun, maraming salamat Sir Ben for having this platform. I'm very encouraged by this, and sana marami din ako na-encourage ng mga tao, and hoping for the follow-up sa mga speakers na hopefully that we can collab together sooner or later. And I'm praying na sana along this pandemic we can do more and more just to be an avenue and catalyst of change for our next generation. Thank you so much, everyone.
JD, maraming salamat. Sol, your thoughts?
Okay, I just wanted to share to all na it doesn't matter if your advocacy of what you're doing personally or through an organization is small or a big advocacy or a big initiative. Kasi for me, the validation is as long as you change one life or it change 100, it doesn't matter. As long as you change, you are a change maker. Kasi one life that you've changed, it can again agreeing with Sir JD on this one, that it will have a ripple effect. One person you touch the lives of that one person will touch another life, and it will be exponential in the future. So ang sa akin, don't be afraid to start new things or an advocacy, or if you cannot start, be part of an advocacy. Hindi naman kailangan na you will be the one who lead or who found it eh. As if you can volunteer, actually not just an advocacy, the mere fact of helping person, probably an old woman na tumatawid lang sa kalsada, or you gave a food sa batang nangihingi outside 7-Eleven or whatever, is a form of a kindness, and it will start there. It probably will be a bigger, in a sense na you will start your own advocacy, but in the end, again, I think you need to have a mindset of being a change maker. You need to believe in yourself that you can touch other lives, and eventually it will help them to encourage them to be a change maker as well. So, yun. And again, sorry, last parting words. The support of the family. Kasi sa amin kasi, I know that yeah, we have friends, we can do it, but again, the basic support of the family should be really there. Kasi yun yung doon tayo nag-start eh. Even kasi as a Filipino, ano tayo, talagang family-centered yung life natin. So that's it. Thank you for the opportunity to sharing the stories of Aklatan sa Kostal.
Maraming salamat, Sol and Paula.
Opo. Again, gusto ko po magpasalamat sa lahat po ng nag-share ngayon. Thank you po sa mga inspiration na binibigay sa mga audience members natin ngayon. For our parting words, ako po masasabi ko, yung nakita niyo po sa video kanina, if we cannot act as we wish, we should act as we can. So marami po tayong pwedeng gawin sa community natin. I agree po sa mga speakers na marami po tayong pwedeng gawin sa community. Tingnan lang natin, buksan lang natin ang mga mata natin, may kita natin kung ano yung pwedeng gawin natin. Simple man ito, malaki man ito, marami tayong pwedeng magawa. So, don't sa mga gustong mag-start ng kanilang sariling advocacy, don't be afraid to fail, kasi may mga advocacy sa simula talaga mahirap, magfe-fail kayo. Keep trying. Maraming pwedeng gawin. Kung ito nag-fail ka sa simula, try another one. Baka ito naman mas maging okay siya sa mga team members mo, sa mga kasama mo, and then sa community mo. Just believe in your advocacy. Kung ano man ito, lalo na kung para sa tama, maniwala kayo sa advocacy ninyo. Kasi sino bang maniniwala sa advocacy mo kung ikaw mismo sa sarili mo, you don't believe in it. So yun po, we can do so much more in this world. So patuloy lang po tayo sa paggawa ng mabuti. Magkipag-collaborate sa ibang grupo, gawin lang natin yung best natin sa advocacy natin, and I think this world will be a better place. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you for that, Paula. Rafi?
Ayun. Yes, Sir Ben. I want to to divide my parting message into two. The first part is I want to give a message to my fellow leaders and to my fellow persons of their own passionate projects. I just want to remind everybody, all of us, na we cannot change the world. Yun yung masakit na katotohanan. We cannot change the world. Kahit pagsama-samahin lahat tayong may passion projects, kahit pagsama-samahin lahat ng matatalino sa mundo, the universe for me is so big for us to have such a major impact sa pagbabago ng mundo. So I suggest, more than investing in your projects, in the communities that we're helping, do not be afraid to invest in emotions, in relationships, in building relationships with the people you meet along the way, with the people, with the members, with your volunteers. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, this is not for long term. Walang long term na charity event. The only long term is for us to be able to pass this on to the next, to whoever is going to continue our own advocacies for us. So invest in relationships. We cannot change the world. Hindi tayo yung magbabago sa mundo, nagpa-participate lang tayo dun sa change na nangyayari na talaga ngayon, andito man tayo o wala. So we have to continue that participation. Next is to all the people watching now, yung parting message ko na lang is the Philippines is a beautiful place. I'm telling you. The Philippines is a beautiful place. Sa mundo, sa Pilipinas na alam ko walang politika, walang korupsyon, walang pagnanakaw, walang patayan. Sa Pilipinas na alam ko ang meron lang magagandang tanawin tsaka mabubuting tao. End of story. The Philippines is a beautiful place. Always remember that. And isa sa pinaka natamaan ng COVID-19 is yung travel sector. Now pagkakuha natin ng vaccine, pagbalik natin sa normal, I want people to realize na, sige, go travel, go see the world again kasi na-miss natin lahat yung labas. Pero more than that, remember na nung COVID-19, sobrang nasira ulit yung pagtingin natin sa Pilipinas. Tayo mismo yung nag-away, nagpalitan ng diskusyon online and personal. Sa paglabas ulit natin sa old normal, sa dati nating mga ginagawa, I want people to realize na the Philippines is a beautiful place.
Thank you for that, Rafi. And totoo yan. Napakaganda ng Pilipinas.
I like
Adrian,
my page
your
para
thoughts?
at Bisikleta Pilipinas.
Okay, we will like it. Thank you, Rafi.
Andun yung mga documentary videos namin per province. Sorry.
Okay. Sige. Okay, Adrian.
Ayan, maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na ipakilala kay Ma'am Sol. Nag-message na kami actually. At natutuwa ako at may bago na naman akong magiging kaibigan, lalo na sa ganun lang talaga. Kaya kapag may mga gantong pagkakataon, isang napakalaking napakalaking daigdig para magsama-sama ang magagaling, ang mga may puso para sa mga sa mga kababayan natin. Like kong sinasabi, sana balang araw ang kabayanihan ay normal nang isinasabuhay natin. Hindi kailangan na may camera, hindi kailangan na nakapost lagi sa Facebook yung mga ginagawa natin. Nasa bahay lang tayo, tinapon natin, sinegregate natin yung basura natin, sumunod tayo doon sa pinag-uutos ng munisipyo natin. Napakalaking kabayanihan na yon na minsan kasi akala natin, hindi natin ini-itsepwera lang natin. So, bilang isang teacher, bilang isang advocate ng mga bata, isa rin sa dapat nating gawin simula ngayon na sana'y ma-appreciate ninyo, sana ipamulat natin sa mga bata na napakasaya ng daigdig. So kasi sila yung susunod na generation. Kapag naniwala sila na may kabutihan pala sa tao pa rin, kahit na ganito yung nangyayari, kahit may patayan, may COVID, ganyan, kapag may tumulong na tao sa kanya at na-appreciate niya na, ay meron pa palang tumutulong sa akin, yun ay magiging impact niya habang buhay. So, isa sa pinaka-advokasya nating lahat, anuman ang katayuan natin sa buhay, ipakita natin sa bata na napakasaya ng daigdig. Kasi ito yung positibo. Ito yung positibo talaga na dapat nating i-share sa iba. Ito yung pagmamahal sa mga bata dahil yun nga, nanay ka, tatay ka, may anak ka, sana dyan pa lang sa bahay ipakita mo na masaya ang daigdig. Yung bata, sabi kanina ni ma'am, yung batang kumakain sa labas ng 7-Eleven, binigyan mo ng kapirasong tinapay at natuwa siya, 'di ba? Isang napakahalagang hakbang para maipakita natin na talagang yung kabayanihan ay nasa puso natin. So, sa mga nanonood, sa mga kasama ko na naging speaker natin, tuloy-tuloy natin 'to. Marami pang susunod sa yapak natin at sana balang araw makita natin yung bansa na pangarap natin, yung bayan na pangarap natin at yung batang pangarap natin para sa Pilipinas na minamahal natin. Marami pong salamat.
Maraming salamat, Adrian, sa sa mensahe na ibigay. And the last speaker, may call in Von, your last thoughts.
Yeah, so just wanna plug Palawan. I'm one of the islands here. Rafi, visit here. Hopefully, target mo rin tong Palawan. Everyone, mga chong, mga sis, hopefully we can collaborate.
Basta sagot mo yung accommodation.
Paano napapag-usapan yan? Bigla nagbago yung isip, bro. Next year na lang pala. Well, we can work it out. Yan nga, for those na nakikinig at eventually will watch this video. If you're interested, you're calling a line with one of the advocacies here, just contact us. You can contact me if it aligns with my organization, with Rafi, with John, with Chris, with Sol, and with everyone. Just contact us. If you have questions, I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but you can message us. Just ask us for questions, for clarifications and whatnot. But here's my message for everyone. And this is a harsh reality. Mamamatay ka din. So don't leave a monument, leave a movement. Kasi eventually yung monument na yan, the trophies, the accolades, everything, it will be forgotten 5 or 10 years from now. But if you leave a movement, long you're gone, the movement is still moving. The organization is still moving, the vision is still there. So here's a little bit pa na gusto kong i-add po. Do you know why we have great people in history? Thomas Edison, Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, and a lot of people, Mother Teresa, because there was an unnamed person in history. We don't know their name. We probably don't know their history, but they decided na magpaabala. That's what we call compassion. It might be you. It's either you will be named in history or probably not, but you're part of the process. And you might be the solution to one of the many problems here in this world. So, but how do you get there? So, first is yung parang answering the question about, well, where should I commit? Where should I invest my time? The need. 2 would be, here's just a suggestion, okay? So here's my suggestion. Identify the need. Ano ba yung need? So probably it will be revealed to you kung ano yung need na yun. It might be how to solve the water problem in a country or somewhere else, the educational system, mga ganun na concern or corruption or whatnot. Second would be identify your God-given talents and gifts. Kasi yun yung skills that you have eh. Another question to ask yourself to identify your purpose lang is, how did God allow you to grow? You might have grown in the slums. So probably yung heart mo nandoon sa mga community people na yun. Or you might lumaki ka siguro sa bukid. You have to understand that kung paano ka. Kasi may understanding ka, makakonect ka doon sa mga tao na yun. Kasi you came from there eh. Environment. And another is, na-mention na to ng especially ni John David, one of our speakers. Surround yourself with the right people. If you want to be the greatest basketball in the world, surround yourself with great basketball players. If you want to be a world-class leader, surround yourself with the world-class leaders that you know. If you want to be a good piano instrumental chuchunes, surround yourself with people that really good at that area. Okay, so if you want to be good in running an organization, then surround yourself with people that are already doing that and are succeeding in that area. So again, here's some quotations that hopefully mabaon and print mo, lagay mo sa pader mo, gawin mong wallpaper. Sabi ni Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in the world. Na-identify mo na yung problem. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Puro kalat sa kalsada mo, simulan mo na magwalis. You're the change that you want to see in the world. And John Maxwell said this, who you become is the result of what you do today. So the question is, what are you doing today? We go back to our time. How do you manage your time? Okay. 1 is a small number. 1 plus 1 is just equals to a small number. But a day lived well, 1 day plus another day plus another day plus another day plus another day, pag kinompute mo yan 365 days, is a year lived well. Ganito ka-importante is the concept of time. 1 microsecond can save a life. Microsecond, isang hila mo lang dun sa tao na mabubunggo sana. Alam niyo yan, yung parang you're 1 subject away from, one subject you failed is another year. Na kukunin mo na naman siya next year. So that's the value of time. Hopefully you value your time, because even the smallest of time is really, really important. And ito pa, here's another harsh reality, pero if we understand and accept it, we can compensate. We are all not born equally. Some people are more smarter than you. Someone are taller than you. Someone are more better at you in basketball. But here's the thing. Here's what we can get comfort with. We are all not born equally, but we all have equal opportunities. You have an equal opportunity with me. It's a matter of how you invest your time and how much you put effort on that. So another thing, there's always a place for everyone. There is, I think si Chris yata nagsabi nito na parang there's always a place for you. And I agree with that. There's always a place for everyone and there's a purpose for you. You just have to discover it, kapatid. Chong, this. You are meant for greatness, and in life there are no failures. There are no failures. It's either you win or you learn. So are you learning now? Para next time you're gonna win. Don't give up on yourself. No one can disqualify you. No matter what people say, don't listen to them. That's just noises. No one can disqualify you but yourself. Pag sinabi mo hindi mo kaya, hindi mo kaya. Okay? And lastly, and hopefully, yakapin mo to, kapatid, kung sino nakakarinig nito at makapanood nito, the Lord won't give up on you. So don't give up on yourself. For so many years, you're still waking up. There's probably a purpose for that. And tomorrow, definitely, you're gonna wake up. So, could you imagine that? Gusto ko lang, for those who really love watching movies, sa Kung Fu Panda, si Master Oogway ba yun, the turtle? He said this, and dalang-dala ko to, and maraming makaka-relate dito. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So tomorrow, you will receive another gift, and that's what we call today. In other words, a present. Your present. Yan po.
Von, thank you very much for that wonderful, inspiring message. Hindi ko alam kung ano gagawin ko. Wala to katapusan, pero itong paniniwala ko. Umaapaw ang kagalakan sa mga inspirasyon na ibinigay ng ating mga speaker at mga organisasyong kanyang kinabibilangan. So maraming salamat ulit sa Support Local Pilipinas, BCBP, Kindness Team, Aklatan sa Kostal, Teatro De Sta, Bisikleta Pilipinas, Bangkarunungan, Puerto Princesa Oil. Hindi po ito ang katapusan, bagkus ito po ay simula pa lang. Ang mga kwento pong narinig nyo ay ang mga kwentong kailangan ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Dahil maganda at masaya ang Pilipinas. So, I mean, maraming salamat po sa mga speakers natin, and as much as ayaw ko pong magpaalam, pero nakikita ko na po na mamaya gagawa na ako ng ng kasunod na project ito at pang mas malawakan pa para mas marinig ang magandang kwento na inibigay natin sa kapwa natin Pilipino. So again, thank you very much po. And guys, I'm so speechless. Parang it's a good shot of positivity, and marami po tayong magagawa para sa mga kapwa nating Pilipino. And lastly, gusto lang po namin i-plug din na sa August 31, the last part of our lead series, which is Serving the Public, we have Honorable Adel Belamide as our guest to discuss about serving the public in this time of pandemic. And wag din niyo po kalimutan to post-register for you to have your e-certificates. Again, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, magandang gabi, maraming salamat at good night everyone. Thank you very much.